All right, y'all. What the heck is- All right. So with this topic, hold on real quick. My thing on white. Let me make sure this thing going right. Y'all come in, get these tabs, these shares going. So we're gonna get to the basis of this topic. So with this, right? At the end of the day of this topic, I want people to understand that it's not about man versus woman and all this other stuff. It's about who is speaking more towards of what is right and what is wrong. That's what it is. A lot of people they tend to basically push things. Um, they determine right or wrong based off how they feel, and that shouldn't be like that. It has to be a solid base of what it is, because if we go per person of they saying, well, I felt I did this right, or I felt I did this, I felt this is justice and all this other stuff, and it's like people's justice, it varies per person. Um, just because you justified or it's justice to you does not make it right, because that means anybody on this earth can literally do that. You know how much commotion that'd be and chaos that'd be if we was to do that. Just because I feel this is justified because of what I did, and you can't take that. Mean just because you feel like your feelings is valid, that mean that the next person literally can get away with that same exact feeling. I feel like that when I took this, like they was talking about earlier about a cop taking somebody out, and somebody took out another cop that had nothing to do with it to make justice. It should. That's that don't mean it's right. That don't make it right. What did an innocent cop have to do with a person that wasn't innocent, and he got to get his life taken? You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that. That's why we can't go off of humans' feelings. We have to have a solid base of what right and wrong is. When we keep coming with this subjective thing, and I notice that when people do say they have their own and say that this is my truth and all this other stuff, if your truth is not helping making you a better person, maybe you need to change your truth. You know what I'm saying? If you still going through misery and mental illnesses and not illnesses, mental stresses and all this other stuff, it's about time to invest in some new belief. You should be believing in something that it may not feel right, but it's actually pushing you the right way. That's just how that is. So overall, we can't keep basing and coming with this, I think this way, and you can't tell me that is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I also have the prompt where it says two people can be right. um, isn't that right? You know what I'm saying? So yes, two people can come from different angles, but have the same purpose. Two people might have different ways of how they display what is right, but it's still the same base overall. Just because I show love this way and you show love a different way, that don't take the fact that it's still love. You know what I'm saying? So you can't change certain things. That's not how that works. So if you are going to have these subjective type moralities or whatever it's supposed to be, if you got these subjective type things, they at least got to have the same results or the same meaning behind these things. Like I said, it's very dangerous to have a one person that may think this is wrong and this other person might think it's right. You was just straight up cause chaos. Like that's the reason why control is so um it's a need. It's a need, right? Because we can't go off of nature. We can't keep saying that, my base is what's the word? We can't say that just because we were born into it and all this stuff, this is what we're supposed to do. The whole purpose of um righteous, or let's say the whole purpose is we got to go against what our flesh desires. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I be, talking, making jokes and all this other stuff about, not even a joke though. People just never took the time to think and say, uh, people never took the time to say that, uh, well, Why do I like this? Why do I feel this way? Why why this is appeasing to me, and that's the reason why if I look at it, any religion, if it sit there and cater to your fleshly wants, that's the issue, you know. Hold on. Because there's no way that, okay, this religion saying, yeah, you're going to be able to sleep with a bunch of women. Like, that's what we want on earth. We're not going to have the same exact body when it gets somewhere. Hold on, I can't tell it. We ain't gonna have the same body. Who said we gonna have a Peter whacker? You know what I'm saying? And the woman gonna have this in heaven. You know what I'm saying? We're not worrying about this person having this wet and juicy mouth, like that stuff. That's fleshly desires. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I say that if a religion is catering to your fleshly pleasures and stuff, that's when you know it's the wrong one. Hey, it's nothing that should be telling you, hey, you know what? You should get vengeance out. You should be able to, you should get that get back because they did you wrong. That's what your flesh want. You know what I'm saying? Because that mean, if that was the case, that mean everybody is going to have to, that mean that'd be according to every last single person's way of living. And once again, if it's based off feelings and if morals are based off of, off that mean that's chaos. That will automatically just be chaotic. Because who's to say who's not valid in the way they feel? You know what I'm saying? So overall, the base of this is that first off, we need to know what righteous is, right? And righteous can come in many different ways. That's why I'm big and I'm open to actually hear other things out of just what I see. You know what I'm saying? Because there's other things that I may not see or that might not make me comfortable, but they might be speaking some truth. You know what I'm saying? Because like I look at it, that even I might not mess with divestors. Shoot, I don't even mess with the red pillars. You know what I'm saying? But they have valid talking points. But I also can address or counter the things that is not valid or that is not right. You know what I'm saying? It's okay, right? I get it. Some people say cater to feelings. I get that. I think it's righteous behind that too. But if the feelings you start catering to is going against what is actually right, then that's when you can't base it off the feelings. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay to make people feel good. Yeah, we need some form of control. Yes, you got to have a solid base. It's the whole reason why law is here, because it realized that everybody coming with what they feel. So they had to be a group of people that had to come with an agreement. That's what that was. So they'd be like, okay, we have to all agree that this is wrong, or we have to all agree, because otherwise people gonna be doing what that's why they made stop signs for. They made the traffic light because some people feel like their life more important than the next person's life. So it's like, hold up, I don't need to stop right now because I need to hurry up and get to work. They're not caring about a stop. So one of it's two people that ran into each other say, well, no, I have to be the one. I got to get to work because I'm running late. And then they pop each other and then it be a wrap. You know what I'm saying? That's why rules can't be based off of somebody's feelings, because everybody is their own. They literally they own story. It's a self-centered type thing. So that's why we can't have that. We gotta have a base. So thank God for rules. Thank God for laws and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise people would be done for, because everybody, like I said, once again, they feel like their life is more important than anybody else. And I get it. Everybody got a legit reason to feel that way. But overall, yes, you have to realize what is best for the majority and not just what's best for yourself. Like I said, I don't believe should we even here just for ourselves, because if we would have been one person on our own. I think we're here for a bigger purpose than just ourselves. I think a lot of the times we might be living for ourselves, but it's still here to impact other people around us, for the ultimate goal of what our whole purpose is. I heard somebody was talking about um the Big Bang Theory and all this stuff. Okay, this is all created because of that. So, but something created that too. I don't believe that nothing was here by accident or a coincidence. Because why it ain't so many other coincidences happening around us also? Why other people is not coming around here? Why it ain't no more Big Bang theories creating more groups of people somewhere else? How did Earth happen to be in the right spot and humans happen to grow at that same time? Why we not so close to the sun that we burning, not too far that we freezing? Like, it's got to be something bigger than just this so-called accident that made all this stuff happen. But people just don't want to admit that it is a creator. You want to call him God, you want to call him Yahweh, Allah, all this stuff, whatever. This is what created all of this, because like that is ain't is that's way beyond just a coincidence, you know. So then my first talking point also, pandering to one side has no integrity, because we were just talking about this thing of integrity, right? So if we're living off this base or the same morals and principles, but yet we still living in uh pride and anger and revenge and all this other stuff, you are countering your own integrity. We don't know what forgiveness is. If we don't know what, and we keep taking out the other parts that best fit our flesh, that has nothing to do with integrity. It just don't. It's not about justifying what you feel is right or wrong. It's living on what we got taught was right or wrong off rip. So pandering to one side to be this person to because you're favorited of this, or these people might mess with you, or that you have to call things out. We are humans. We all gonna have we all make mistakes. We all gonna drift, and we all need some type of guidance every now and then. We can't always be a teacher all the time. Sometimes we have to be the student. Off rip, we just got to, though, because it's like we don't know it all. It's more things. Life is advancing, and we can learn every last single day. The day that's the reason why they say the day you think you know everything, you know nothing, because it's just a true statement. It most definitely is. Two people can be right. People got to understand that part too, though. Which I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier. Two people, which I was talking about earlier, two people can be saying the same, can have the same ultimate purpose, but come from a different angles. That's just all it is. Bless you, and I cough. Thank you, anyways. Um, 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 but yeah, I already kind of explained that one already with the two people can be right, because people have to understand that, though. Just because somebody may agree with somebody else, that doesn't make you wrong. Y'all, sometimes two people could be talking about two different things. That's all that really is. That's all that really is. So just because y'all talking about two different things, y'all could both be right on what y'all talking about. You can't just say that, well, because you're not matching what I'm saying. It's different angles to different things. That's all that really is. You can't say that the other person is the enemy because they not speaking how you speak. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So to have that mindset, that kind of almost go to that next one. Well, ain't the next one, the one after the next, about forcing somebody to pick a side. That's not how that works. I think, and that's what our biggest issue is today. When you have to force somebody to pick a side. If you picking, now I do get it, right? You do need to pick a side of right or wrong, right? You have to do that. But when it come to people or whatever, that you don't have to pick side, because like I said, all of us have right and wrong in us. We sometimes we are right and wrong. We don't have to be like, I'm not gonna mess with your side because you said something wrong. Okay, they said something wrong at that moment, though. You had to check that. But that's what I'm saying. That's the problem with the labeling thing. Somebody lied one time, we want to say they just a liar. No, they lied at that moment, but they got time to change. So people are not patient enough to have people change. But that's a whole nother different thing. That's what I'm saying. We always do this labeling. Well, you a beta male and you a alpha male. Like, dog, you anything that you adapt to. You're not gonna be alpha all your life, and you're not gonna be beta all your life. You're not gonna be neutral. I mean, all these type of things that we call ourselves. It's gonna be times we're gonna shift. Where nobody is perfect at what they even doing for real. I mean, that's just another thing. So Off rip, that's why me myself, I stay away from labels. I try my best to, because all we do, the thing is, once we label this, we got to live up to it. We don't want to prove anything other. Now, if your label, this is what I'm gonna say, if your label that you chose to pick, it limits you to do anything else or expand beyond what you see, or what you feel you are, I think that's when you need to get away from it. That's why I say, if I say I'm a child of God and want to label myself that covers everything. I don't just be stuck. You see what I'm saying? So I can make that type of label, but I'm saying, if I got a label, say I'm a motivator, when I also have the ability to be a podcaster, or I have the ability to actually be a teacher, or I have the ability to actually Mike can sing or something like that, I'm not about to just stick with that. Just like what you call it, talking about uh she not a musician when she talking about a magician and stuff. Like, no, you could be both if you wanted to, a musician and a magician. You know what I'm saying? So this thing where we just label ourselves, we box ourselves in, and that's the thing. Um, so that's the reason why I'll run away from that, though. That's why when people be trying to live up, that's when people know they don't understand who they are. They because they identify themselves, they stress it. And that's one thing. If you gotta stress to live up to something, yeah, that's another. You just got to move. You gotta pick something else once again. You gotta pick. And I'm not gonna say stress, but if this label is making you be unrighteous, right? If it counters this thing that you say you believe, or this integrity thing and stuff that we talk about, if it counters that, it's about time to change your label. You know what I'm saying? Some people say, I want to be known as a person that don't take no ish. I'm known as a person that ain't take no ish, and yet you over here, you work in unrighteousness because you don't want to take no ish. It's about time to change that label. It's damaging you more than anything. So you can't just be labeling yourself these certain things. But like I said, these are people that don't know their identity. They don't really know who they really are. That's the reason why people are so afraid. Because they don't know. They know if they try to understand something outside of just their side, it's gonna make them sway, and it's gonna take away their confidence or what they feel like they built themselves as. But that's why I say, even with confidence itself, when I was talking about that earlier, even with confidence itself, you sometimes you have to be confident enough to be willing to be wrong sometimes too. But some people, like I said, if they pride is built off being right all the time, that's why you get hurt. That's why you don't stand on what you stand on, because, like, the thing is, we are human beings. We really all can be wrong. That's the thing. So now let's talk about neutral person that go against what they believe in. Just like it almost go with that pandering thing. So a person that will that may they only go based off of who is, I mean, so many different things. I can't even simplify that, though, because sometimes they can go like, okay, this is the most popular, so I'm about to fence ride with this person because I like what they said, and it fit the lifestyle that I chose to be. And then also they can go like, okay, cool, hold up, this person is validating my life even more, or validating more of the things that I learned and stuff. So let me go to this. You know what I'm saying? And yet these two people counter each other in some type of way, but you only going based off of how you feel, or what you feel is more beneficial to you. So you like, okay, I'm gonna go with anything that's benefiting me at this moment or whatever. And I believe that's what fence right. So neutral is just the ability to hear both sides judgment, a fair judgment, or a fair take on it, or a fair understanding. That's how I look at neutral. So, like I said, that counters with the picking a side, and it goes back to the second one, where two sides can actually be right. So two sides can actually have uh right talking points. That's why it's best to stay neutral sometimes, because if you just stay on one side, you just be stuck overall. So the next one. People force you to pick sides is the issue. And that goes on. I think that's the biggest thing that we're going through right now, especially that um It's I think you need to stay away from people like I believe that they very manipulative, I say, to and they will make you feel bad or try to make you feel bad. What's up, sis? They'll try to make you feel bad because you didn't side with them or something like that. You got to be the enemy. Like I had a live I did on this a while ago where people be say, what they say, what is it? They be saying, pick side. It was like you either with me or against me, right? With me, against me. That's a manipulative statement, I believe, right? Because like they say that just to make you like it's like whatever I live or say, if you go against anything I say, you're against me as a whole. Instead of against my talking point, which we about to get to that next one, which is the last one, it's like right, very manipulative. Yeah, exactly. So they like to instead of saying that, well, okay, you don't understand. Okay, we don't agree with this. Okay, we might be coming from two different planes. It's like, no, if you go against me, and I ain't gonna lie, this especially as black people, we do that a lot. That's why we call people coons and all this other stuff, because we really can't. We have a hard time trying to identify who is against us and for us. So I get the statement because it's safe for people that don't know no better. But overall, it's not fair. And it's not right. It's just not right because it's like you're not always right, so that can't be always right. You know what I'm saying? So that with if you were with me or against me, that's BS. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have to be with me on everything. You don't have to be against me on everything. You it's just about what is the base thing. Do you Now I can get it right if you counter on what is right and wrong, and I say that I don't believe. No, I believe marriage is the way. Say if I say something like that, and you like, no, I believe living free is the way. You are against me, or you are, yeah, I would say that's when you are against me because you on a team of letting people do free what they want to do, which is dangerous in my book. And I'm saying the opposite. I need people to understand the importance of just not sleeping around and understand the importance of what families are and all this other stuff. But you're saying the opposite, which is more dangerous. So if you speaking on things that has been proven to be dangerous, and I'm speaking on things that because it's more than just marriage, right? Because you got to also move in a certain way and also believe in certain things before you even just do that. But people blame marriage as a whole, and that's never been an issue. It's the people that you choose that's the issue. But overall, yes, that will make you a person that's against you. If I say that, all uh people themselves is not the issue, and you like, well, no, if a person is pink, they the issue or something like that. Like, no, you're against me. You're against me because I don't believe it's the people. I believe it's the attitudes, it's the things that they stand on, or their action that's what's wrong. I can't, and everybody can fall into that. You know what I'm saying? So overall, it's not the people that's the issue. It's what they do. It go back to what we was talking about all the way earlier, on another live. Earlier before I cut this one off. It's just what it's about what people do, and that's what that is, though. So that can fall to anybody. That's why people be like, well, all skin folk ain't kin folk and all this other stuff. Yes, that's true, but skin don't make a person either. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that's also go back to the surface level thinking to just believe that a skin is automatically for you. Shoot, I just got done getting out of family reunion, and I remember in my I ain't gonna say, but basically my auntie was like, she's like, why you need to see your family? You need to, and I'm like, no, I don't. I don't know who told you that. She like, why you talking like that? I'm like, no, that's not the need. I need to connect with whoever is help advance me or bringing me closer to God. That's what I need to do. But if my family is straying me away, no, I don't need to be around family. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that. That's not that. That's not my what I'm on this earth for. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe some people will. I'm not trying to get on that part, but I think our purpose is to uh obey God, follow God. So family, that has nothing to do, and that's another manipulative thing. But that goes back to the topic I was talking about yesterday about what are what's the word? Unaware of manipulation things that we don't that people manipulations that people on manipulative behaviors that people are unaware of, and that will be one. You know, because people use that all the time. Well, they're family. You're supposed to do this. No, that's not true. You just trying to make somebody feel bad so they can just go back into no, blood is thicker than water. Another manipulative type statement. All that stuff, like, no, that is not. It might be a true statement, but what do that supposed to mean? You know what I'm saying? That mean I'm supposed to take everything that my family do? I supposed to. It was good back then. You know, I get it, right, because of the loyalty thing. But I've always been against that loyalty thing because some people so loyal that they don't want to call out certain stuff, which is the issue with this. Even with this whole prompt, people are afraid to call out certain things because they're family, because I mess with you, because they're my friend, or because that's my mother, because that's, you know. No, wrong is wrong, right is right. You can't counter it just because you favor them or because you're biased. You don't counter that. You know what I'm saying? But that tell you where somebody. I wouldn't say that, but some people are not as confident as they say they is. People don't realize or understand that, and that's why I talk about confidence so much. Confidence is like a real big thing. People are literally losing themselves because of confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why we doing makeup now, hats, sticking with, connecting with the wrong groups and all that stuff because the things we're not confident in. You know what I'm saying? We confident in the wrong things, and then when we get challenged on the things that we got, then it really exposes how confident we are when we gotta, and that's why it goes to that last one. When you attack a person and not the talking point, that's what happens all the time. Okay, I have nothing else to say. You got me in the corner. Now I'm gonna call you a B, and you don't know no better. You just stupid. You know, you say all these things now because you're not confident on what you believe in. Because you got caught in a shut up moment or a humbling moment. Because you know people hate that feeling of humble. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's so prideful, they hate that feeling. You know what the heck? No, this person didn't tell me. So this is how I'm gonna win right here. That's why you stupid, and that's why you did that. Let's look at your profile. You did this stuff. Like, dog, that don't take away that you didn't know what you was coming out your mouth with. You know what I'm saying? So people that is one big reason why people attack people instead of their talking points, because they have no more ammo to come out, because they limited on, but guess why they limited though? Because they failed to hear the other side out, and that's what made them limited. Because they didn't want to hear the other side, because they only believe it's one side. You know what I'm saying? But you learn a lot by actually getting challenged sometimes in life. You got to get challenged because we don't know everything. That's just so funny, and that's why this whole thing, it literally just connects. It connects, and once people understand these things, understand it's not about being comfortable all the time, or if it make you uncomfortable, why do it make you uncomfortable? What's the reasons? And if your uncomfortability is going to set you back, or is this uncomfortability is going to help you progress in life? That's what you need to ask yourself. But it's nothing wrong with being uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be uncomfortable around some smokers, uncomfortable around people that like cussing so much. I'd rather be uncomfortable then. That's cool. But if I'm comfortable about them, that tell me about my life. You know what I'm saying? If I'm comfortable with what's wrong and uncomfortable with what's right, what that tell about you? That's why I say when we mention God, and I had when I talk about God or have conversations, you see all that stuff get exposed. What do you mean? What God? I did my research on this and all this other stuff. Like, what do that mean? If you did your research, why do you don't sound like a better person? Are you researching the wrong things? You know what I'm saying? You're doing all this research and you still miserable. That makes no sense. Like, what the heck? Research how to get my life together, right? Do that. Research how do I get over my daddy and mama issues. Why would you research that? Like, we researching all the wrong things. We want to be smart in all the wrong things, but we don't know ourselves. That makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said we prioritize all the wrong things. It's just so funny. I mean, it's sad. It's something like, but like I say, I tell people before when I laugh at certain things, I'm really just laughing because a lot of stuff is sad, and it's best to, instead of blowing up about it and all that other stuff, I'd rather just laugh. I'd rather laugh and or then cry sometimes, shoot about it, because it just be so sad sometimes, and that's just my way of overcoming some things, because like it's just a sad world we living in. Just a sad world. But yeah, just to really get back to this for real, is that you could tell a lot about a person. You could tell that people going through things, and like the main thing is you could tell through conversations by putting people on panels and stuff. Like, I think this is a very good thing. You use this app the right way, you'll learn a lot. This app is a big reason why what helped me change. You know what I'm saying? Because of the intentions. Like I tell people, like, people come in your room for certain reasons or certain intentions, and eventually get exposed, or it eventually comes out. People like you for a reason. People dislike you for a reason. So that's just what happened. Some people come for fun. Some people come for therapy. Some come here to help expand their businesses. Everybody got their reasons. Like I said, one of the biggest things people use. That's why you see these the lies that actually pick up is the drama, right? Some people got so much drama in their own life that they got to go seek drama so they can reduce and ignore the stuff that's going on in their own life. Some people look for other misery in other people because they're miserable. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what people's tactic is. They're their coping mechanisms. You know what I'm saying? That's why people drink so much, because they don't want to deal with a lot of people just not okay with being wrong and saying that, dang, I messed up. I selected this. This was my wrong choice. Some people give themselves this false boost, or this false what's the word? Basically this false confidence. Back to that again. Telling myself, well, I'm a 10 and I'm doing better than I really is. You cannot tell me. You can almost hear the crying in people's voices when you challenge some stuff. I thought you was good. I thought you was strong and independent. Now I call this thing out. I thought what are you weak now? Now all of a sudden you weak. So stop claiming these things that you're not. At least that's what confidence come in at, is actually admitting that you're not that strong that you say you are. Admit it. Then you become stronger. That's the thing. But as long as we keep on lying about this thing, or I get it, right? You can use it as motivation, but don't be afraid to admit that you don't get it sometimes. Once you admit it, then you can grow from that point. It's only up from there. That's how that is. You know what I'm saying? So that's the issue nowadays. That's what always getting exposed nowadays. That's the reason why I talk about what I talk about, because a lot of things we just not aware of. People keep asking, like, why do you keep doing this? Everybody not gonna hear this and stuff. It's cool. Everybody don't need to hear everything. The people that need to hear is going to hear. That's the thing. We're not trying to save everybody as much as we want to save everybody, but you just can't. The people that need to hear the message, they need to hear the message. That's like one thing I be trying to tell my peoples, right? They be like, oh, you missed out on a good message. You missed out on this. No, if it was meant for me, I would have been there. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing I missed out on. Nobody miss out on things. When things supposed to get presented in their life, it's going to present to them when it need to be presented. I don't even know if people got that, though, but I caught me off guard a little bit. but that's how that is, though. Me, myself, I don't believe in mistakes. I get it, at that time we could call it a mistake, but it's still purpose behind that mistake. You see what I'm saying? So it's something that you have to learn out of it. You interact with this person for a reason. That's why I made a live about, people come and go for a reason. People, that's just what it is. You can't feel sad. Just know that believe them, as long as you know that, and that's what comes with the optimistic mentality and all that stuff, you got to realize that, okay, cool, things might not work in my favor, but it's working towards towards my, I'm about to reword it wrong, but basically it's working towards my purpose though. So it might not work in your favor, it might not win at the timing. Shoot, I'm even going through that right now. Me, shoot, even my baby too. You know what I'm saying? Going through that right now. We like, dang, we wanted it off our timing, but hey, sometimes God tell us, hey, I'll let you guys just know. I control your life. You know what I'm saying? So, and you're going to love it. You know what I'm saying? Because I love it every time. You know what I'm saying? I realize, shoot, when I think I was ready, God told me otherwise. You know what I'm saying? He's like, no, you're ready. Now you're ready. I'm not about to give you 1 million followers right now until you're ready to get 1 million followers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times he may even allow you to get certain things just to show you that you're not ready. I'm glad I didn't have to go through that because God has so much that he wanted me to build and all the little, when I thought I was ready, it was so many things that he wanted me. I think he wanted me to be at this peak that he want me to use me as, you know what I'm saying? And he feel like, and because I might feel like I'm ready and I feel like I want these things right now, he like, no, you're ready for you, but you're not ready for me. That's the difference on that one. I appreciate you, bud. Thanks. So that's the thing though, and people have to realize that. So that's the reason why if things fail, I might be sad for that moment. I might not get what I want, and that they don't want to believe in God because it's all about them, and that's why they stressing about it. And yet they keep on using the same thing as what God and all this other stuff. What is you serving? You know what I'm saying? What you serving? Yourself and your flesh? That's the only thing you serving, and yet you still mad. You still just as mad about people. Why are you mad at people that's mentioning God when you say your stuff work? What? That made no sense. It might not be working enough. It can't be working enough if you still jealous and envious of other people that say that God working well for them. Make that make sense. For you, thank you. I can't say God. What? Thank you, science, that whatever they believe in. Thank you that is working for you. That is working for you, but it didn't work for me. And then let it be. You know what I'm saying? And yet this is the route that people want to go all the time. Well, you stupid, and you believing in that, and you, what the heck? If I don't want to believe in what you believe in, if you talking like that, what? That's crazy. Like that junk is so crazy though, but it's like people just we got it's so much to talk about. That's why I'm always gonna have something to talk about every time, and like I said, and reach the people that I need to reach, and that's just how it is. People are gonna keep on what I'm trying to get to. Basically, people is going to get filtered, and that's one thing I've been talking with my baby about, and we realizing it's gonna be a lot of filters in life, and it happened all for a reason at a certain time, or I might feel like it's a coincidence, but this is how God wanted it to be. Some things have to drop for me to move forward. Some things might have been holding me back, and I just didn't want to admit it was holding me back. But then God, like, I know what to do. Let me put this to, because I know you. This is how I'm gonna present it to you, so you can eliminate it. I wanted to eliminate them a long time ago, but let me get you to do it now. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been talking to you. You just ain't wanna. You know how people be saying people go against their intuition and stuff. I'm going against my spirit, the Holy Spirit. It been telling me about certain people. It tell me when I'm uncomfortable and all that stuff. It tell me when people, but I just be like, you know what? I'm gonna give him a chance. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that bad. I don't, we're friends. We're mutuals. That's cool. But every time it's gonna show. And that's why I really don't regret anything that I do. Or decisions that I make, because it's either gonna come back around or it's gonna be gone out of my life. It's one of the two things, and that's cool with me. The only thing I care about is it gonna bring me closer to God, or is it gonna stray me away? And that should be the main thing we should focus on. You know what I'm saying? And I notice the more closer I get to God, the more better things be happening in my life. And that's why I say, but I don't use God as no genie. That'd be the issue. People only want to pray to when they don't want to. They want to pray for the things that they want instead of the stuff they need. But the things they need, they're not even working towards. You know what I'm saying? I need a mental break. I need to, but what are you doing for it? You smoking and drinking all that stuff. That's not gonna help you. That's not gonna help you. What the heck? So the thing is, you have to get out your comfort zone. Comfort zone. You have to. I had to realize that myself. A lot of this stuff that I've been trying to take up for and making. I mean, I remember one time I used to be like, well, I can sleep with different women and stuff, as long as I got the rubber on. It ain't like I'm really doing the real thing, you know what I'm saying? I just making up all this stuff and not realizing it's still affecting me in some type of way. It's still affecting me, still bringing some type of attachments and all that stuff. I try to make up anything, but not realizing that God say stuff for a reason. He say these things for a reason. He tell you not to, interact with certain people, not to be with the unequally yoked and all this other stuff. But he also gave me the time and he gave me grace, and been protecting me all my life. I've been used to go to clubs and after hours and, probably got into I got into a fight when I was younger though, but that's a different thing. But could have been into some heavy things, and he been watching me ever since, And I was like desperate at that time. Well, not even desperate. I would just say I was just, feeling like because the world's saying this is what to do and this is how you live life. That's how I was looking at it. That's why I be telling people, what is living life? You know what I'm saying? We make these fleshly things and fleshly desire living life, but living life is just the simple things, real talk. You know what I'm saying? It's just looking at the small things, paying attention to how the sky and the clouds are moving and stuff. Be able to breathe fresh air and be around some trees and nature and stuff. You know what I'm saying? That could be living life. It's literally the simple things that don't cost nothing. But nowadays, people stress themselves out. They say living life is, let me go plan to do this and let me go, get a bunch of money and all this other stuff. And that's the little small stuff. I mean, that's the big stuff. I say that's big stuff that we gotta judge making. No, we make it to be like, well, this is what living life is. But that's what society telling us. You know what I'm saying? That's why I noticed that when I even looked up the scripture, what blessed is usually blessed have nothing to do with getting no big TV and getting all the video games. I got blessed with a new house. I got blessed with all this other stuff. It ain't had nothing to do with that. It's really the simple fact that you get to get up every day and take one of those, you know what I'm saying? To actually be able to function, to actually realize that it's people out here doing worse than you. You know what I'm saying? That's a blessing. And then even the people that's doing worse, they can be worse. You know what I'm saying? The worst is being in that grave. And even then, because it's just basically the whole base of that. It's a blessing to be living. I even listened to this one guy that got he got missing arms, 2 missing arms. He got like, what do we call it? Nubby or something? I forgot, a nub, something like that though. And he don't make no excuses, right? You know what I'm saying? Well, he don't make no excuse. He still found a way to cook with no arms. He found a way to, put his clothes on, go to work for the people that's accepting him, because he can be a liability. He already mentioned that too. But he don't make excuse. He realized life is a blessing. You ever notice that a lot of the most motivational people either be like people that be at the gym, people or people that's disabled and all that other stuff. I post that so much on my Instagram page. It's a dude that was like in his wheelchair with a messed up neck and stuff, and he like, shoot, that brought him closer to God. You see what I'm saying? That's why they be saying the richer you are, the farther you away from God and stuff, because I get it. People don't call upon God when they at their best or when they at their top. They only call him when you need him. And then when you realize how much impact he is in your life, then that's when you start appreciating him. You see what I'm saying? So that's the reason why they had that one, the one Bible verse about the rich people is so far away, and then the unrich, you know what I'm saying? The poor people, they have a better connection with God. You know what I'm saying? because they don't have so many things blinded. They don't have, I gotta pay this bill, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. They just trying to survive. They just appreciate the little meal they get. They not over here crying about because I didn't get that cheesecake I wanted to get and didn't get all the groceries and they not crying about all that little stuff. And that's the reason why I be so hard on other people. Because it's like, you living a good life. I always say, if you got a big belly, shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's people that can't even afford a piece of a belly, and yet you crying. You know what I'm saying? People eating flicking fly sandwiches and stuff, and you talking about what you don't get. Doing better than a lot of people. That make no sense. Like, people never take the time to appreciate the stuff that's right in front of them. And that be the issue right there. Let me get some water real quick. I need to refresh. But that's the thing, though, for real. That's the main thing, for real, man, is that we have to see what is really important and not these wants, these high wants, and calling it important. Oh, man, I want this so bad, so this is important to me. Oh, Smex is important. Or this is important. Like, y'all be making all these wants or high desires important and not really looking at what's really important. The fact that you actually, like I said, able to get up and actually able to store some information into these children and stuff or whatever. That's what's really important. You know what I'm saying? Like, we be crying about these little things and having these discussions that gets nowhere for what? Entertainment and stuff. And yet you still, my thing is, why you worrying about entertainment when you still miserable? Like, that make no sense. When you still don't have the ability to shut your mouth and listen to somebody else for a quick second. Why you worrying about entertainment? That's what I'm saying. This priorities is so messed up. You have bigger issues in life to worry about. You worry about trying to impress people. Impress yourself. What the heck? You've been impressing hundreds and hundreds of people and still don't got it together. So you're going down the wrong route. If I'm yelling, you could always go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Said, did I miss something? No, you didn't miss nothing at all. I'm just giving my time to speak my piece about this topic. But it's just many different things, though. But overall, yes. And if people don't get the point, they just don't get the point. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't even have to really get questioned on this. So the whole point, and it's just going to my purpose, is just that we have things that we got to realize what is really important. You know what I'm saying? All this little stuff, all this stuff that we trying to have fun with, I get it. Like I said, some people, you know, their purpose is for entertainment. Some people, you won't see them unless you have an entertainment or something like that. But that's why I'm full aware of that. I'm full aware when people supporting me, why they supporting me. I stay quiet. You know what I'm saying? So I get everything. I'm fully observant of every last little thing, for real. You know, I try to act like I don't, you know, I don't know what's going on, but I do. But it is what it is. I think it's something that we're going to get out of it on either end, on everything. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, whatever you supporting or whatever you invested in, is it helping you become a better person, or are you just staying the same exact person you was from the beginning and making more excuses why you should stay the same? You know? So I'm like, if you're not looking for growth, what's your point? You know, what's the point? Like I say, even if, like I say, when people say they do this stuff for entertainment and stuff or whatever, you got so many things you could do for entertainment. You literally can watch you a movie. You can watch, you know, people watching football game now and all this stuff. Like, but the things that they calling entertainment really is affecting people's lives nowadays, and they not even realizing that. How is that entertainment to see people sitting here screaming at each other and cussing each other? How is that entertainment? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's sad. That's sad, and that tell a lot about yourself. If we gotta sit here and say, okay, cool, let me sit back and say, yeah, I feel sad about stuff like that. What the heck is we sitting here praising and happy and saying, yeah, do your thing? You know what I'm saying? And then we got to be the same ones come with our same mouth and talking about, man, this world is horrible. Why is it like this? That junk is crazy, it's like this and all this other stuff. It need to be, it's a shame. And yet you still supporting stuff like that. Like, make it make sense. That go back to what we was talking about earlier is that we counter what we believe in. We do it all the time. We do it all the time. We hypocrites. What that other thing that Bert done told me, the cognitive dissonance thing? You know, it's like we always counter what we say we stand on. That that junk is so crazy though. But like I said, just to get back to my own topic because I side shift my own self. See, I even side shift my own self when I'm up here. Is that like I said, the whole purpose of this is people that gotta believe they gotta realize that it's not about picking sides. If you say you believe in something, you gotta stand on what you believe in. It's a lot of people that's lost out here. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that's lost that think that they know what they're talking about. But like I said, if you lost and you say that you know and you know what the true morals and all this stuff is, all I'm saying is whatever you believe in, is it helping you become a better person? And that's all that really matters. If you, like I said, if you still acting like the rest, that's the reason why I'm so big on that's why I'm so big on what the freak I was getting to. I don't forgot about my own stuff though. Basically, if it's if it's uplifting you, right? I tell people believe when whatever you believe in. If it's helping you treat people better, if it's helping you, store good things to your children, if it's helping you progress in life to where you not affecting other people, right? Because some people got grimy ways of how they do it. What the heck just happened?
What's up, cuz?
What up, man? All right, let me see something real quick. Hey.
Right?
Hmm.
I said you all right.
Oh yeah.
I ain't
Yep.
mean to interrupt you.
No, you good. I was just trying to get at least get my topic out.
All
You
right, go
know.
ahead.
But go ahead, cuz. What you oh, you got to switch spots, baby coming up.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Hold on, how I do that?
Yeah, everybody. Just gotta drop down.
All right.
But yeah, I just at least want to get this topic out the way. Uh, yeah, because I'm not the type. I don't need a panel to help uh preach what I need to get out. I really don't. I know a lot of people do count on that. I didn't want to because I know some people that wouldn't be nothing without they panel. I'm not like that. I've been lately. I've been just trying to give everybody a voice. Get different perspective, learn some things. And that's be my thing though, for real. But I just wanted to, give everybody my main purpose of why this topic is like this. People just really do need to know the difference. People gotta also, um, we in denial. A lot of us just be in denial on what we say. If it's countering the lifestyle that we want, or not even want that we need, because that's our issue is wants all the time. That'd be the issue though. But what we need and what we need should be able to get passed on to our children and the lifestyles that we want to, because we might, like I said, we might make mistakes. We might do all these things or whatever. It's not when you make your mistakes, it's for you to teach others to not make those same mistakes, not justify these mistakes and make it be a lifestyle to teach that's if we had the chance to actually do what was right, we would have just did that off rip. But we keep on trying to take up for the situations we're in now, and that's just not right at all. It's not. You know what I'm saying? If we made mistakes, it is okay to say, okay, I messed up. I need to make sure my children don't mess up the same way I messed up. So I'm going to teach something against the lifestyle that I have now, so I can make sure they don't go through what I went through. And I think that's what real love is, and being genuine, and also uh it's storing something to your children that will help them. You know what I'm saying? So, but go ahead, Joe. I did enough
It's
talking
so
though.
crazy that you got to talking about that because what I've been noticing is, like, I always say, whether you gonna be a good person or a bad person. And I know people say, oh, well, we are bad because we commit sin. But when I say that, I'm not getting at that. What I'm getting at is your intentions pure? You got so many evil-hearted people out here that want to press their narrative, that want to do what's best for them, and disregard what everybody else got going on, what everybody else doing, just for the benefit of them.
Yeah.
It's so many people out here like that. Like, uh, and getting into the whole parenting side, like what I've been noticing, like, just a brief situation that I've been seeing is that it's so many people out here that be like, okay, well, this my child. I want to do it this way. And disregard taking any type of advice from people that actually have raised children to be successful, raised children that went in a positive direction because, oh, that's your kids. I got mine, da 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 da. And it's like, bro, all you gotta do is sit back, listen, and be receptive to information. Nah, you don't have to apply it, but at least be some type of receptive and listen. And it might help you. It might make things easier. People would rather go through things and make it hard because they just don't want to listen because everything is supposed to be around them. Everybody is just selfish as hell, and that shit's sad.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
parent, yeah, I'm just going ahead with that. I'm just going ahead with that.
What you been up to? You been around these TikTok streets?
Yeah, I've been, out here surfing the streets. I got my lives I go into where I just want to bullshit, have fun, joke around, and I
Yeah.
go into a few serious, lives from time to time. But I don't be able to do it for too long because, man, people be wanting echo chambers. And as soon as you disagree with them, now you getting attacked by 15 people.
Mm-mm.
So, I just, do what I feel like doing that day.
Yeah, I feel it. Yeah. We got different moves every day. I feel it. Or every
What's up,
moment
cuz?
sometimes.
What's up, Rachel?
What up, though?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's almost my bedtime. Kev almost got me lit to like, I was like, yo, I feel like I got something to get off my chest.
I felt the energy when I
Yo.
seen this live because I'm like, he was just live and I seen people on this panel. So I get on here and I jump in. I'm like, dang, where everybody go? And it sounds like he's snapping. Somebody that pissed cuz
Mm-mm. No, that's how I used to do though. Anyway, before I used to just do lives with me and just to have my talking points sometimes of where I'm coming from. You know, that's all that is.
Yep. I'm gonna start doing that more often.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like, if you were to give if you were a public speaker and you were to give a speech or you wanted people to get certain points.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you would like organize your points and then you would you know what I'm saying? It's good
Mm-hmm.
practice. It's good
Yeah.
practice.
Most definitely. Yeah, for sure.
I know I need to conduct another live. I did one. I did pretty decent on it too.
Get alive.
Yeah, I went live.
Do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, do it, lady.
I think, and,
On your
and me, I'm
birthday.
here to ruffle feathers. So I think my next topic, well, my first topic, because I ain't do one the first time, but I think I'm gonna talk about how fathers are not allowed to be fathers, but expected to be one. And
Mm.
and yeah, because like I said, just talking to my friends that's in my friend groups and stuff like that, what I've been realizing is that you know a lot of women feel more entitled to the child than the father. And when the father try to step in, they be like, "No, this my baby." Da da da. I'm here and I'm here with him when or her, whatever it is. Like they don't allow the father to actually be a father until it's either too late or they going down that path and they like, oh well, he bad or she bad and they acting out. They ain't doing good in
Who do you
school.
believe for? Who fought is that though?
Um, I believe it's both parents, but
Nah. Nope. 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 Nope.
I gotta say it's both parents.
Nope. People have choices. People have choices. You choose who you sleep with. Everybody chooses who they sleep with. So It'd be whoever. Like I'll look at whoever complaining. It's always gonna be their fault. So I'll be like, whatever you complaining about, you had the option to choose something different, but some people just wasn't patient enough. So you sometimes you just reap what you sow. That's just what that is for the most part. So I
I
can
feel that.
never like if you because some people they have those traits already. You could tell they selfish. If you was patient enough to see how selfish they, you knew they was probably gonna be the exact same way with the child. You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's
So
the
some
thing is it's totally different when a child is involved
I
because
can agree, though, but you could I don't
when
think things like
I
that
don't
change
know
like
what
that.
it is. Once a woman goes through pregnancy and actually give birth, and they gotta feed the baby and stuff like that. It's a whole different type of attachment, which I understand. I'm not. I would never take that away from a woman, but it's also you have to allow the other parent to be a parent because if not, then you're
Do you
basically
have to teach them that?
teach who that.
I'm saying, you think that person don't know that you're saying it about? Like, say if you were saying about, like, you don't think that mothers know that you're supposed to allow the other parent to do whatever that you want them to do?
Well, we actually had this conversation before where it is constructed that it's a belief in our country that mothers are naturally better parents, right? It's just something that it has been pushed out. And it's made them think that they are the better parents and that they are the ones that's needed more than the fathers.
Hmm.
Until it gets to the point where them
Until
kids
they
bad
see
as hell,
that.
and now you like, nah, you need to come talk to them. You need to do this. They need to come stay with you once it get out of hand. But the thing is, this problem could have been fixed a long time ago because you have to understand most men are disciplinaries. So we provide the structure that's needed for a kid to fall in line. Like, I'm not saying that a mother can't be that, but what I'm saying is usually a mother is going to be softer with her words. She's going to be softer with her discipline. She's going to be softer and have more lenience when it comes down to doing stuff. If you notice, like they always say, when a father says something, the kid just be quiet and go do it. Because a father is not about to sit there, go sit down, Bob, or whatever his name is. I don't well, how about go sit down, Daquan. Go sit down. A father not about to say that too many times before I said what I said. Now the next step is you already know what's gonna happen. But if you notice, your mom will be like, go sit down somewhere. You get up, run around, you go sit down for a second, get up, run around, go run around some more. God, I told you to go sit down. I told you, I told you, like, and that's the difference because now the kid is testing you to see how far and what they can get away with.
Yeah, I came to actually say exactly just that. That like while people think like mothers are like the like I guess primary parents, it's just certain things that women literally can't teach a child, whether it's like male or female. It's just certain things that men are just like needed for in that parental space.
Mhm. Yeah.
Even with my son, he'll be bad, and I'll be like, sit down, stop. Or, you know what? I'm going to call your dad. And then once I call his dad, he's sitting down, he's being good. I'll be like, when he gets home, he going to get you. And then the whole day, he'll sit there because he thinks, like, oh, yeah, now my dad's going to get me when he gets home.
Got him. Manipulated him.
And I just feel like that natural balance, we need that more. We need more understanding between the two parents and understanding that, you know, just because you have a role, that doesn't mean like stay in your place. But what it means is we have different contributions to the family. We both have it. And if you don't allow the other person to contribute to the family, you're now throwing the balance off. And that's where you get disrespectful kids, you get wild kids, you get bad kids that don't focus and all that stuff. Like, honestly, to tell you the truth, half of this stuff, this whole ADHD and all that, honestly, when we was growing up, cuz how often did you hear that shit? We barely heard it.
Right.
We used to,
Barely.
oh, you don't want to sit down and pay attention, you about to get your ass whooped. So you need
Yeah,
to
it
sit
didn't
down,
matter. It
man.
was that belt wasn't no. It wasn't no discrimination with that belt.
Right. We not sitting
And
here
all of
making
them
no
got themselves
excuses.
together too. And Bill whooped the ADHD out of them. Told the ADHD right up out of them. They ain't having no more after that.
And
Yeah.
I think we in the era of that right now because if you think about it, a lot of diagnoses just come out of nowhere now, and I think it's the easy way out. Don't nobody want to go through that work. If you have a kid that learn differently, back then they used to put a little bit more time into it, get you the little help you need, go get tutoring instead of being like, well, my baby is like this, so you have to do this, and if you don't, then he's just not going to understand. Vice versa. Well, opposed to what we grew up with, shit, our parents came up to the school and told us up. Ain't no disrupting the class and doing all that. No disrupting the class and doing all that. You might catch a shoe, you might catch the belt, you might catch whatever clothes, the remote. Like you gonna get hit with something.
Yeah, where I'm from, we got paddle in school, so you ain't telling no
Oh
stories.
boy. That was
It's like
back in those days.
nowadays the parents kind of, because I'm a parent too, but nowadays it's like a lot of people want the world to conform to their kid instead of creating their kid for the world, in a sense, like preparing them for the world.
Yeah.
Because if we take a look at the so-called YNs today, the main thing we say is that they don't care about nothing, right? We all say they don't care about nothing and they don't have respect for each other or they elders. Shoot, they out
Yeah, I
here.
believe it did get worse though. Like they claim that we had these same types back at our time. No, we had way more fear, and I'm probably sure it was way worse before us. Even though they had them kids that didn't care back then, but it was not as. I don't think it was to the amount it is today. You got little 4 years olds cussing now, and everybody just come out the closet. They not scared of anything. It's so much stuff that they just. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it got worse. I believe it got way worse, especially from the little bit I seen when I grew up and stuff. Ain't no respect, ain't no soaping people mouths no more, no big mama no more. Like this stuff is getting bad. Man, it's been happening. It's always been happening now. It's just no ghetto parenting.
That's
Literally.
exactly what it is.
Hmm.
And then it's like, it's so funny because when I see when I see the problems occurring and stuff like that, and you try to give somebody advice now everybody, oh, stay out my business. This ain't got nothing to do with you, or why you even speaking on my situation when it's like, well, you do understand that your kid is a part of society or going to be a part of society. And if we care about society, why wouldn't we care to help you or give you some advice that can help you? But then turn around and complain about how dangerous the society is. But you want to keep running around letting your kids wear ski masks at McDonald's.
Hmm. All right, let's see. Let's take a little snap at this topic now, though. Hold on, real quick. Um, let's do the first two. How you feel about that? Pandering to one side has no integrity, and two people can be right. Right. So you want to go, cuz first, and then.
Yeah, I go. So integrity. Um, the way I see pandering is this. It's a few outlooks that I have. I think that sometimes people pander because that's the only thing that they grew up. That's the only thing that they grew up seeing. They only seen one side where they kind of feel like they can relate. And then I also see pandering as a way to be accepted. Now, whatever. they just want to be accepted by those people because either they can't get it naturally or they never had it naturally, or they just have that fear of not being accepted or saying something that might upset them, and they're gonna be an outcast. So yes, that will go under the lines of not having no integrity as a person, because you can't possibly sit here and agree with everything on the opposite side. um Yeah, and pandering, I'm glad Rachel said that. And even pandering with the same smecks, uh, it's like I said, it's the whole acceptance thing and only seeing things from their side. Because you can't sit here and tell me that you don't see nothing wrong with anything
Oh,
that we do.
I got something for you. This the one that's gonna make you sting real quick. This a talking point. But yeah, it's a talking point that I believe men pander to other men, right? Or they
Mm,
say that it's in their nature to sleep with a bunch of women. Ha ha! I
nah,
know that's I know that burned, isn't it?
yeah.
I believe that's a pander, the biggest pandering thing that men do. Instead of teaching self-discipline, they say, "Nah, this what just men do." Ah, that's pandering for sure. And they don't want to mention that. Men don't want to mention that part, and that's what I'm against the red pillars for. Because I'm like, dog, just because you don't want to learn discipline and just tell men, because we might as well say that's in women nature to not take accountability. That's BS. No. But
I
yeah,
don't
that's a
I don't think it's in their nature. I think it's taught. So being taught something and being in their nature is two different things. One is a learned behavior, and one is something that you naturally do. But when it comes down to sleeping with a bunch of women, most of the time men are taught that. Like I always bring up the scenarios where you got the uncles, oh, you ain't getting you none yet, and da da da. Then you even got the mamas, oh, my son's so handsome, all the little girls gonna be on him, he gonna be a heartbreaker, and da da da. You're not doing nothing but grooming that boy to become a person that's gonna have a bunch of women and sleep with a bunch of different women, and like you said, not teach self discipline. So you know, oh, you put the countdown on me.
I forget. I got other people. I gotta get everybody
Oh
in.
yeah, that's cool. Shit, I'm pretty much done. Oh yeah, two
And then the
people.
two people get
Right.
right. Yeah.
Um, two people can be right. Um, based on emotional views, because I feel this way, you feel that way. Everybody is entitled to their feelings, but I believe that there's a right and there's a wrong.
What's
There,
up, Lane?
there's a right and there's a wrong, but the thing is, you shouldn't be always trying to prove that you're right and the other person wrong, because then you would never understand the other side. So, yeah, that's it with that.
All right, all right, all right, cool. Marie, what you have for me? The first two prompts. What you got? 2 minutes.
Pandering to one side has no integrity. I mean, I guess I can agree with that because I think like it's kind of like if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And so I guess in a sense, at least you're standing for something, but also pandering to one side can kind of just look like, I think someone else said it can look like you're kind of like that you're fishing for attention, that you kind of just want the approval of that one side, whether it's the male side or female side, whatever side it is. And then when it comes to can two people be right? Yeah, I think two things can always be true because there's always like one side. There's the truth. There's yeah, like a broken clock can be right like twice a day. So definitely two people can be right. And you can learn a lot from an idiot. So yes, two people can be right. Because even if someone's wrong, you can definitely learn like what not to do from them. So yeah.
What if two people? One, two people was just smart at what they knew on each side. I don't have to. I don't believe that. So because one person is smart, the other one an idiot, or the other one, both people could be smart. They just both could be wrong too. That's all I'm getting to about that one though. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but even then you can still learn from that person because the point of a
yeah.
conversation is to learn, never to prove right or wrong because it's never you against that person. It's always you guys against the problem. So it's kind of like,
hmm
really you guys are getting down to solve the problem.
Okay. Babe, you wanna go? Cause I know you limited right now, so I can let you go first.
Oh, thank you. So you said the first two questions, or
Yeah.
okay. Pandering to one side has no integrity. I absolutely agree because yeah, when it comes to pandering, it's you have ulterior motives that is about self. You get what I'm saying? And you're not
Yeah.
standing on the side of righteousness. And I think that lacks integrity. I believe in doing what is right, even if you have to stand alone. Um, two people can be right. Yes, I believe that two people can be right because you have to understand that people they use different methods to come to a different conclusion. Everyone's reality, it's rooted in some type of reality. You get what I'm saying? But it's like sometimes you have to break things down, because everybody's brain is so different. So the way that we process things is, you know, is just so different. So yeah, there is possibility for everyone to be right in their own sense, especially if you're having two different conversations. You know what I'm saying? How many times has that happened on a panel where people are just going back and forth, but they're literally talking about two different things?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think we need to have grace and allow people to like process things in time, like the way that they process it, and they may come back and understand.
It's 2 minute timer.
I'm sorry?
No,
I'm
she don't get no. You know she don't get no timer. That's my baby.
That wasn't even 2 minutes anyways.
yeah,
I
I'm
don't really.
saying where is your 2 minute timer so we could keep track?
She
She
don't
don't
get a
need one.
2 minute
You know
timer. What
why?
the
Cause
heck?
I'm
She don't
like,
need one.
you're probably not gonna talk as long because the 2 minutes really goes on for a long time.
Oh yeah, no. I don't talk too long, but also I don't get a timer because I'm wifey.
Okay, we'll
But
keep talking so you can get your full time.
oh my gosh, no, it's okay. It's all good. No, but I'm pretty much done though. Thank you.
No, now you get to go for another 4 hours now just because they said so. That's all I'm talking about. All right, so let me get Cyril and then Lanes just got in. So what you got? Did I say it right?
Close enough. And hi guys, hi host, hi Rachel.
What's
How
up?
you
What's
guys
up?
doing?
Welcome back.
Hi.
Okay.
Thank you for having me. So pandering to one side, absolutely. Yeah, it shows no integrity because you really have to decipher the situation. Like Rachel was saying, different situations, different um outlook, different circumstances, things like that. So if you're always just on one side, just because you're on that side and you're like, I stick to this side no matter what because he's my friend or whatever the case may be, you're really not looking at the entire picture, right? Um, this is the part where you guys are going to like disagree with me because I don't think so. When two people are having some kind of disagreement and they both think that they're right, if you introduce a third person that's completely impartial, they can clearly see the picture. And if you tell them everything, they can clearly see it and see who's wrong, when they were wrong, and when all this started. Because I mean, I don't know. I have seen it in multiple romantic relationships, the relationship between children and parents, and all kinds of other people always have a side of their story, but somebody is wrong and somebody is right. So I don't know. Like, I kind of disagree with that one.
Mm,
I
okay.
think the
Okay.
Jews were wrong, and they divided men and women together.
All right, Lanes, go ahead.
Okay, so hello everybody.
What's
So
up?
what I'm saying is talking about Kev talking about when I get a man.
I knew
Wait,
you was gonna take that.
wait. So Rachel and Kev, are y'all together or something?
Yes, you not hearing it.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
Yes.
Just had to make sure everything was straight. So pandering to one side has no integrity for surely because you do not excuse me, you do not want to be pandering to these people, to nobody.
Who are the people?
You don't have to answer that.
Okay, so two people can be right. Two people can be right, but the truth is the truth. So don't try to act like you can beat around the bush, make up situations, and get away with stuff, because it ain't happening. Because God is going to, you reap what you sow. So God is going to always balance the scales of justice. And justice ain't always sweet, because sometimes the truth can be hard to handle. All right, so that's all I want to say. And also, God is good. God loves y'all.
There you go. There you go. I was about to say it wouldn't be Lane's light if you ain't say it.
Yes,
There you
God is
go.
good. Okay, bye.
And I mean, speaking of that, right, this is a good example of how two people can write. This is what I'm trying to go. So speaking of that, let's say about we talking about God, right? Let's talk about Jesus, right? So this like one person saying Jesus was a man, another person like Jesus was God. They both right, isn't it? They just come from two different angles, but they both right. But some situations is actually both. Jesus was God and man. See what I'm saying? So they both right, but they're trying to make an argument, and they really got the same. It's the same thing. So that's what I'm getting to. Some people can be both speaking on right, but they just coming from a different angle of what it is, and it just sound different because it ain't. So a lot of times, like even with arguments, right? And they be playing the semantics or whatever it is, or just because somebody didn't deliver it the way they wanted to, that does not mean they was not right because the deliverance is wrong. Just because it didn't register through your head. Because some people may understand it, and and we not might not understand it, but that don't make them wrong. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm getting to is that two people can literally be right. I don't think it's just going to be one side wrong and right. That's where you come to picking the sides after that. Like just because it didn't come out the way you wanted to, that don't make that they not right. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting to about that one. So people got to realize, yes, two people could be right at the same time. But I don't like it when people use it. So I get this part. Some people literally be wrong and then try to use their wrong and then say it was right against a person that's right, and then be like, nah, but two people can be right. No, you're wrong. You actually countering what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's one. And two people can be wrong and they act like it's right. That's another thing.
Right. There's all possibilities here.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, the point is like that it's possible. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We're not saying it's always like that. We're saying
They
there's
all are
possibility
wrong
in that. Huh?
because we all are sinners. So we need Jesus because we all are wrong at times.
Oh,
Amen. Count on lanes.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. Like I have found in my life, so I live a very my life is very just I don't want to use the words, but it's very this or that. Like it is either wrong or
You
Mm.
right.
have a black and
I
white thinking.
yeah, I didn't want to say those actual words because then
You're the
it just
person I need to
triggers
talk to on this
That tends
live.
to
it just
happen
it
with
just
perfectionists.
it
Yeah.
just triggers when you say
I
that,
can't
it
take
triggers like all kinds
offense.
of other things. But what I wanted to say was the way that I live my life is so like let's say I meet a person and I get along with them, whatever, everything's great. And then we like meet up for coffee, whatever, and then we're like 2 weeks in, and I'm not talking about a romantic relationship, girlfriend, whatever. I just met someone on the street. And then they say something or they do something, and immediately my brain goes to, oh, I know who you are, and I put you in a box. And I'm like, okay, you're in a box now. And if you're in a box with me, I'm watching you, I'm paying attention to everything that you're doing. I'm
Mm.
cautious of you because I've met people like you before. I'm
Mm.
I'm going to be 50 years old this year. I am more cautious now in
And
my
there's
life now
people who just
that
need to focus on God. If you put your trust in the Lord, He will take care of that all. So you don't have to
Yeah,
have all those worries and anxieties,
I don't have
because
worries
God,
and anxieties about it. In fact, this is the
by saying
least
all that,
worrying and
who says
anxious
otherwise?
part of my life that I've ever lived because I'm more clear than anything ever in my life about people in general. So when I meet people, I make I don't make an assumption
Yes,
when I
guard your
first meet
heart.
them. I make a decision on whether or not I want this person to be part of my life because I see my life in a matter of time and seconds. Like I don't have very much time, and that goes for any human being. If you're on this planet for 0 to 100 years, if you make it to 100 years, great, but most of us won't. So how much time are you willing to dedicate to this one thing that in your heart you feel like something is wrong here and you feel like, you know, whatever the situation may be. So I think there's a point in your life where you get to where you're just like, I can't waste my time on something that I feel something is wrong there. You always have and the older that you get and the more people that you meet, the more experience that you have with this, just because you've met so many people and you've had so many experiences, and most of them might be negative, most of them might be positive. It doesn't matter. Either way, you've had that experience, and so it makes you more cautious.
Can
So
I ask
like
you a
you,
question?
yeah,
Do you believe in, are you a person of faith?
I am not.
Okay. Do you believe that there is an objective right and objective wrong? Things that are right and wrong,
Yes.
no matter what people think about them?
Absolutely. I think this is just a code of humanity, Don't hurt
And
children
where does
and
that
don't
come
hurt each
from?
other.
Hello, wisdom. Hi.
Hey, what's up, Kev? What up, though?
What up, though?
Where does it come from? How do we determine what's right and what's wrong? Where does it come from?
I think it comes from empathy. When you see the things that you do that hurt somebody else, and if somebody has done that to you, or if you've seen it happen to somebody that you love, you don't want to do it to somebody else. And if you do, then something is wrong with you.
Well, what if the hurt that it causes is that they really, really, really don't like it? And then if that's the case, it isn't a part of how we define hurt, whether or not a person has a preference for it.
Wait, I'm confused
That's
in how
okay.
you
I
asked
can
the
explain it
question.
again. That's no
Sure.
problem. So if somebody really, really, really doesn't like something, okay,
Hmm.
and then that can make it wrong for them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
And so doing it to them can be, harmful, right? And so because it's harmful and they decide they don't really like it, then it can become wrong based on their feelings, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then is a part of how you understand right and wrong based on people's feelings?
Mm,
Yeah.
it's based on how I make them feel. Yes. It's based on, yes.
All right. Then if part of the right and wrong, how you determine right or wrong is based on feelings, then that makes it not objective, right? It makes it subjective to the person.
It's subjective to me, I
Only
guess,
because
in that
feeling
sense.
is an emotion.
Correct. Yeah. It would be, no, you're right. It would be subjective to me because if
There,
I'm
there,
thrown into it, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah, I think that I believe I'm a Christian, so I believe that morality is objective and it's that
Praise
God
the
has
Lord.
defined it.
I'm a
It's
What you
not,
say?
though.
Christian.
That goes against Christianity,
I
bro.
believe in
It's not
Jesus Christ.
objective.
I don't know what you mean by that, Adam, but I'm gonna make a point to her, and then any question you want to say to me or anything you want to insight you want to offer,
Go
I'm
ahead,
open to
bro.
listen to.
Yeah, do your thing.
Yes, sir. So I'm a Christian, And so I believe in objective morality. So I believe that God determines what reality is. I believe God determines what morality is. And I believe God has determined what truth is. I think we're all having a subjective experience of objective reality. So reality is objective, but human beings have a subjective experience of it. And the closer we can get our understanding to objective reality, the better our discernment becomes, the better our decision making becomes, the better lives we lead, the better we are at making choices about what we're going to do with ourselves and how to treat one another. And since objective morality, objective reality, and objective truth are all the same thing, and they're all determined by God, the closer you get to God, the closer you get to objective reality, objective truth, and objective morality. Does that make sense?
It makes sense up until the time you mention God.
Right. Yep.
It
I
makes
understand.
sense
Yeah.
to me. God is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. So, yes, He is our creator, and everything is Him. And He created
So
everything.
lanes.
Right, I
That
understand that,
so
but
one
my
thing
Yeah,
about
but she's
so
not a believer, Lance. So
okay.
yeah, I'm about
she
to say
doesn't
you
believe.
gotta yeah, that's what I'm about to
Yeah.
say, lanes. Even though what you're saying because you just using sound bites, I ain't gonna lie. You have to explain why he's alpha and omega, and you gotta explain, since it ain't nobody. If a person don't believe, they're not gonna just automatically. It's not gonna marinate in their head when you say that. Okay, you right. He's the alpha and the omega. That don't work like that. You literally
Right.
have to prove it in some way, explain it, and break it down. Sometimes that's just like telling somebody to see therapy, and you're not trying to show them therapy or how to even operate around it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why we can't just say certain things. We have to start. We have to teach. We got to teach if we really going to teach something. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm
So
saying, though. That's why it's not subjective. I mean, that's why it's not objective.
y'all
It's
gonna get your
subjective.
1v1 on real quick after that, anyways,
But
though. But
I
I
mean,
want
I,
him. I
I,
want him to
I
finish
love
up with a Siri though, real quick.
I love what I don't know how to address you, sir. It's either wisdom or whiz. I don't know how to
Yeah, whiz is fine, or the wisdom, whatever. As long as I know you're referring to me and you're not trying to be disrespectful, then whatever is cool.
no. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
do that in general.
Cool.
But I understand what you're saying, and like I said, everything that you said made sense up until the point, and up until the point where you mentioned God, because um my beliefs don't come from just no experience at all. I grew up Catholic, I went through I mean, like I said, I'm 49, I'm gonna be 50 at the end of this year, and I have a 16-year-old daughter, so I have really struggled with this all of my life because, my parents are religious. Most of my family is religious. They're all different religions, by the way. And so for me, it's been just this back and forth, and then even just having conversations with my parents is difficult because my mom is so ingrained in this, and I can't have a conversation with her without her saying, just pray. And I'm like, Mom, like I'm really trying to tell you something, and you just to just pray. Like I'm reaching out to you as my mother, so those kinds of things are frustrating for me. And so when you say the things that you said to me, it makes sense up until the point you get to where it becomes this other thing that I experienced in my life that never explained anything other than to teach me to be afraid and to repent and to be afraid of the end, to be afraid of being unalived from this earth. And I think that's why religion exists, and that's why all these other things exist, because human beings cannot imagine. We imagine all these things, wonderful things that have happened in our lives, but we cannot imagine not being here, your children not being here, your parents not being here. That part of life is not explained. And so I think human beings have used religion to explain that
To
because
make
it's the one
themselves feel
thing
better about
to make
unaliving.
ourselves feel better for not understanding what happens to you after you pass, right? So I
Let me
think
ask
it's just
you.
based on fear.
Let me
So
ask
that's
you
why
this question.
sure, go ahead.
Do you believe if you could make it your choice, would you prefer to cease to exist or to go to a place where you would burn forever and be tortured forever?
would choose to
Neither.
exist.
Neither,
I
bro.
Well,
mean,
it's a binary
no, but you
question.
only have two choices, though. I don't have
Yeah,
neither. It's
neither.
either
I
you
understand,
exist
Well,
but
or
my
you
whole thing
burn.
is,
the
go
question I'm
ahead, bro.
asking you
I
is a
get into
binary.
it. Yeah.
The question I'm asking you is a binary, and it's for a reason.
Hmm.
What is it? Okay, so the point of me saying that is the idea that religion was made to comfort, that Christianity and the eschatology, which is the study of what happens when you pass away and what the Bible says is going to happen to the world when God ends the world as we know it, is not comforting. It's not more comforting to believe that you would go to hell than to not exist. So the
Well,
idea,
that's where. Oh,
The truth is not supposed to make you
go
comfortable,
ahead.
though.
I agree with that, but the point that she had made was that people created these ideas to comfort themselves in the face of the fear that arises from
Yeah, I
the
think people are just
possibility of
misguided,
life.
bro.
Sure, but I'm dealing with her ideas, you know?
I don't. I
And
think you misunderstood me.
okay,
It's not.
please
It's
help
not
my
it,
understanding.
it. Okay, it's not the fear of burning in hell or anything like that. It's just the fear of you have never yourself personally, me myself personally, have never experienced that. So like, like the first time I had a baby, I only had one. But I was fearful of that. I mean, I was excited, I was fearful, all kinds of things, right? But at the end of the day, I kind of knew what was gonna happen. Kind of knew, you hope for the best and everything. But there are doctors there, there's technology there and everything. I kind of knew what was gonna happen.
Sure.
When you are on your passing bed,
Yeah.
um, you don't know what's going to happen once the life has gone away from you, and nobody else knows. Nobody can tell you, nobody can give you any comfort. The only comfort you have is you pray and you hope that you lived a good life and that you end up wherever it is that the Bible or the Quran or whatever it is that tells you where you're going to end up, right? Isn't
Well,
that way?
no,
Isn't
not
that
for
why
me.
we live our lives the way that we do? We
So,
do
so
all of these things so that we hope when we
I
are
understand your
there,
concept.
right?
I understand your concept, but that's not why I believe that. Let me tell you really quickly because I think I'm dominating the panel now. And all right, so check this out. I was agnostic for a long time through my 20s, my 30s. I studied different cultures and different religions. I've on my dog tags from the military, it says Buddhist because while I was in the service, I would go to the Buddhist temple and I would meditate with the Buddhists. I've read the Dhammapada, which is the basic religious text of Buddhism. I've read the Upanishads and the Vedas, and that's for Hinduism. And I've read the Bhagavad Gita, which is for Hinduism as well. I've read, and I can discuss these things. I can talk about the war with Arjuna and the purpose of Krishna and how he explains the different realms of existence and transmigrating soul through different realms of existence. Like I can have in-depth conversations about that and about the basis of Buddhist philosophy and the ontology that makes up that philosophy. The point of me saying this to you is that I studied these religions without any faith whatsoever. I figured out that the reason that I accept the explanation that Jesus gives for what happens when we die and what the purpose of life is because I went and studied the prophecies that foretold the life and passing of Jesus, and I can't explain how prophecies that preceded the birth of this man by 200, 300, 500, 700, 1,000 years give such specific details about who he is and when he was going to be born and what he was going to do and what was going to happen during his life. And then those things were confirmed by secular outside sources in Rome and that's part of a Roman record about his death. So a man who was predicted, he came into existence. We know the predictions were written 700, 500, 300, 200 years before his birth and death. We know that. And then you have an outside third party that confirms his death and confirms all of these details. And while he was here, this very important person, which it's 2025 years since when? Since his birth. So we literally, as a human population, count time from his birth. So he is king, whether you believe in him or not, whether you accept what historians accept. And historians agree that he existed. They just argue whether or not he was divine. But nobody that is a historian disagrees that Jesus actually existed. So you got this person, he existed, he was 100% prophecy, multiple kingdoms confirm how the prophecies and their fulfillment, right? And so you got this God that is revealing himself, that shows that he has power over time, he has power over humanity, whether they accept that they belong to him or not. He comes in the person of Jesus, or at least that's what he says. And then this being, Jesus, defines this being, Jesus, tells you what is going to happen when you die and what's going to happen to the world. So I accept his explanation. I accept his explanation because I can't give you an explanation for the prophecies, and historians can't either. So, I mean, I get the thing for you. You're like, hey, I was raised around this stuff. What I find is most people who are raised around it, Cyril, when I talk to them about prophecy, when I talk to them about Bible, when I talk to them about doctrine, when I talk to them about the historicity of that book, they don't know day one about it. Respectfully, they don't, because they were raised around it. So it was something cultural for them, but it was never something academic. And, so their question of faith is like, hey, I need to believe without evidence.
We should move to Ecclesiastes 11.
They don't realize. Lens, I don't know.
I read from the word, not this man's lips, because many men can be deceitful, but God is truth.
Lens, stop yourself. Stop. Stop.
Exactly.
Stop.
Don't come at others. No, you said respectfully.
No, stop.
You start with like some kind of thing.
Stop, baby. Stop it. All right. So that's the basis of my acceptance of this information isn't blind faith. And so if you, Cyril, I'm sorry, if you're ever interested in seeing why people who are mathematicians and scientists and quantum physicists and philosophers and historians, people who are intelligent and educated, accept this ideology and accept that these scriptures are a description that God has given of how the world functions and what we're supposed to do with our lives, I would be happy to share that information with you so that you can look at it and evaluate it based on your own intellect. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, that's totally fair.
All right. Thank you, sis. Whatever Lens has got, she I know she wants to speak, so go ahead and Lens, you can talk all you like now. I just wanted to share that with Cyril. Cyril, or if we're not following each other, I'm about to follow you now. And then if you want, you can send me your Gmail account. I've got a whole bunch of information I would love to share with you so you can give it a look, on your own, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, love.
Appreciate you.
Saying culturally and this and that, like they don't know anything about the historical thing. It's like people don't really know you, especially when you're on a TikTok panel. But they don't know if you read your word and you actually have a relationship with the Lord. But I wanted to share Ecclesiastes 3:11 because Ecclesiastes 3:10 through 11, because this will help you realize that God is real too. I have seen the burden God has laid on the human race. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end. So it tells you right here in the Bible that He set this idea of eternity into our hearts. And that's why it's a universal human experience. We all know of eternity. We ponder it because we're mortals. And there is life after death. And you can believe in Jesus and be saved. And that's the beauty of it all. God is so merciful and loving. So praise the Lord.
I mean, I'm willing to move on to the next topic. I think we kind of exhausted this one. If you guys want to move on, I'm
All
cool.
right. Let me get I thought Adam had some, but we gonna leave it because I don't want to be a whole nother thing. Um, let's get HNIC, then I'll get Adam in with the first two prompts. So pandering to one side has no integrity, and two people can be right. Right? How you feel about those?
Hey, evening, peace, y'all. Peace, Black Jesus. Hope y'all doing well, Kevin. You know, y'all remember Dr. Seuss when he had that book, the Sneetches? Y'all remember that? It
Don't
was
be
like,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, good, all right then. You know,
Black Jesus and stuff.
Yo, I got muted. I'm still here though. What's up,
yeah,
yo?
yeah. So one group, they got Starbelly Sneetches, and the other group that didn't, they got mad. You know, Sylvester McMonkey McBean comes in. He's like, "Yo, I got you some Sneetches. You can be like the other dudes." Other people were happy when they got the stars, and then the other group gets mad, so they take theirs off. The dude was pandering to both sides. So a pander is a panderer, whether it's to one side or two side, because you can do both or many sides. You know, they're a person that has no integrity. They're there for alternative motives. They really don't believe in what they're doing. They're there for either money, power, or respect. So they're on their Locks and DMX, Lil Kim stuff. So it's something that people don't like, especially especially in the TikTok streets. I don't say names of people not here, but we see that all the time and everything. It's sickening. We see what happens. Disgusting. Yeah. The next thing,
You
two people.
said Locks and Lil Kim, but you didn't say Diddy.
He's funny.
Not gonna lie.
Exactly. No, Diddy. We're gonna erase him from history, my brother. So the idea of like two people could be right. I mean, two things could be right at the same time. I mean, some people say 5 times 3 is 15. Other people say 3 times 5 is 15. It just depends on what they're looking at and what the actual situation is. There's some things there's one pathway of a truth, but usually in life there's a lot of gray areas in everything. So I digress. Touchdown.
All right. Let's get Adam in.
Yes, sir. So my whole thing is like, man, it is, it's to me it's not objective. To me it's subjective. And this is why. Just like we were talking about before, emotion plays a big role. Your knowledge plays a big role. I really want to just step in the ring and just see what y'all had to say about the Bible and its, it being interpreted, 365 different times and 300 different languages, and just, agree to disagree or agree to agree.
Yes. The Lord is going to have sovereignty over us all. So, of course, it's the most distributed. His word is the most distributed all across the world. And of course, the people that follow him is the highest number in the world, because good always prevails over evil. The other religions are fake. I don't discriminate because I know they will still learn that Jesus Christ is the only way, the truth, and the life. So they'll come around eventually. So I just pray for everyone. But yes, God is our true Lord and Savior.
Okay, yeah. So, Adam, you believe in subjective morality, correct?
I think so, man, because I
Okay.
mean, hey, people can, think that they're doing the right thing all day, but, somebody else steps in their shoes and it's like,
Right. So I've got a thing that here's something I believe in. You tell me if you understand this. So objective morality is the idea that what is right and what is wrong is factual, right? And that it isn't based on the individual person. Okay? And subjective morality is the idea that right and wrong are determined, by the person that is trying to discover it. Okay? And so I believe that if you believe in subjective morality, you actually don't believe in morality at all.
So so let me stop you. So empirical experience is not a real thing?
Because it is experience, it can be subjective. So, like,
So that's all I'm trying to say.
yeah, but your experience of something and your interpretation of that experience is not empirical.
Can I tell you this
Absolutely.
though? That I am Christian.
What'd you say, brother?
I was raised Catholic. I am Christian.
So you're a follower of Christ yourself
sir.
now today?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you believe that God thinks morality is subjective?
I think so, man, because at the end of the third person's on the cross's life, when he agreed to let him in heaven, he knew what he was about.
Okay. So as a follower of Christ, why did the person that was on the cross with Christ get entrance into heaven?
Because he was able to understand that we're all subjects of Christ.
Okay.
Morality is subjective.
All right. So that wasn't because of subjectivity. That's because the salvation, okay, as it is espoused by Christians, is about the accepting of the gift of God's grace. And the gift of God's grace, right? Grace is an unearned gift. The gift of God's grace was the sacrifice that Christ made for all humanity. And so if you accept that God the Father, right, came in the person of Christ and gave his life for you as a gift, then that is the basis of your salvation.
Subjective reality is acceptance.
You have to define, you have to give me more than that. Those words don't make sense together on their face. So can you help me to understand what you mean by that?
So depending on your life experience, subjective reality is acceptance of all things that you have went through and that God has went through for you.
All right. Morality is a question of what is right and what is wrong. Are there any experiences
it's all gray. It's all gray area.
I understand that you're saying it's all great, but I'm having a different conversation with you than gray.
But that does make you right and me wrong though.
Okay, so can you be objectively wrong about something, even if you're right?
Can you be?
Sure. Yes, I can. Can a person be? I'm not talking about you.
And can you be subjectively wrong about something?
Your line of questioning isn't leading us towards anything. Is there something you want?
I'm not trying to win an argument. That's the whole thing.
I'm trying to explain a concept to you that you're not understanding.
Go ahead.
Okay. Right. So I'm not trying to win an argument either. I want you to understand a concept because there's a reason that people believe morality is subjective. And I want to just describe that reason to you. You can accept or reject that reason. Okay. But there is a logical, coherent reason why people believe that morality is objective.
So I don't mean to interrupt, but so you're telling me that works don't matter?
That is not part of the explanation I'm going to give you, but
because that's part of subjective reality. But go ahead.
All right. So the direct answer to your question of whether or not works matter, the Bible tells us that no, your works before God are filthy rags. But that
they also prove who you belong to. They also prove who you belong to.
Because God is our Father and He has done mighty acts. Like during the time of Moses, when his people, the Israelites, were in Egypt, and he sent all the plagues on those people. Or Sodom and Gomorrah, he destroyed with sulfur, burning sulfur. And the flood, he wiped out humanity because they were so wicked. But he saved Noah, and we're all descendants. And you know of these mighty acts, so clearly God is real.
Amen. I don't think anyone's disputing that.
Well, that's great. Praise the Lord. Yeah,
Amen.
you're nice too, Adam. Yeah, I don't know. The wisdom guy, yeah, like if you don't have patience, it is a virtue from the Lord again.
It
So
is.
he was
It
just,
is. He
Is
got
that
mad.
godly of you to say that?
but God bless him as well. And I hope, he has that patience.
Is that godly for you to say that? I think everybody got their angles of how they want to.
I
Yeah,
guess
and
it's
I'm
godly.
not trying to fight with nobody, bro. I was just trying to understand, like, what was going on. I feel like, objective reality, man, is based on an object. I feel like subjective reality is based on a subject, and I just don't understand people that really, claim to understand the Bible's teachings, but if you
Yeah, so
follow,
overall, I think overall, yes, it will be objective based off what you believe in. So I don't know if you said you was a Christian. If you're a Christian, it's automatic objective. Then that means that you go based off the moralities that God has set for us. That's the reason why He asked you the
I go
question.
off subjective reality based off of
Yeah,
what the
so that
Bible.
means you don't follow God. Then that's what it is. So that don't make no sense. Then so you that basically
Jesus is the subject, man.
basically
That's why I worship.
no, nah, no, I don't know where you got that from. So the base is that you're a follower of Christ. I don't even know if you say you're a Christian.
Yep.
So if you're a follower of Christ, that's only He show you the way of what we're supposed to do. He show you what right is. So
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
nothing
Objective.
subjective about what He says right. He actually live
That's
up
what
to
I'm
what
saying.
God.
Objective reality or objective morality don't make sense to me. That means like I
I-
object. That means like I don't agree.
Look up the word subjective and object. So you're going. It sounds like you're going off feelings because you said it don't make sense to you. That's feelings. Then that would make it subjective because you going off how you feel. But that's the reason why we can't go off of how you feel. We got to go with what it is. So what it is what God told us. So that's nothing subjective about it.
I just feel like, man, the Bible shall set us free, man.
Yeah.
Period, point blank, man. My whole
Amen.
thing is like, man, I just joined this live to just really just promote Christ, and hey, people get
Well,
mad because their egos get stepped on and shit. That ain't who I am.
yeah.
Keep
Why
fighting.
worry about that though? Just promote. Speak on what Jesus is. Speak on what's objectively what He want us to do. Not what
But
you think
why I
He want us
gotta?
to
But
do.
why I gotta
Why
be?
you know what He want us to do, not
I
what
know,
you
but why I
feel He
gotta
want us to
be?
do.
Why I gotta be a fight? Regardless, like that's some
It don't
little
have to be a
to
fight
fight
because
about,
the
man.
thing is that you
Hey,
either
man,
gotta
he
Doesn't
totally
really
backed
hide
out
the
the
fight
whole
within
live,
itself.
man.
No, I say you
That is
gotta.
a good
I
fight.
would say you gotta just stand. Like you gotta get to a point where you gotta stand on what you believe on. You can't go in and out on it. That make
No,
you
you're
not a
right.
solid believer. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right.
So
You're right.
that's the reason why you have to. If you saying you're promoting Jesus, just like I feel you on that. I understand, and that's what I do too, also. And
I
but
came
we
I
have to
came in
have
this live
something
to
for
make it
somebody to.
interesting.
Yeah.
Like my whole thing was just like it's not to sit here and disagree with anybody, bro. Really, I wanna bring light to His name. You know that my whole thing is just like,
You
man,
know how you bring light is be an example.
And I respect that. Praise the Lord, because that was very humble of you to say. Because yes, we need people to bring praise to the Lord.
at the
Lord.
end of the day, Lance, like That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. You guys, like,
Yeah.
hey,
I want to be able to treat you with respect, Adam, and
no
my
doubt,
patience was thin.
no
And
doubt.
so when you were doing free word association questions, like you ask a question and then I try to give you an answer, and then while I'm giving you the answer, something I say reminds you of something, and then you just ask a question that has nothing to do with what we were talking about before, what I'm explaining. I just didn't have the patience for that, so that's why I stopped. But I unsolicited advice is the worst advice. So I apologize for offering you this unsolicited advice. But I love that you want to spread the gospel, but you should study and show yourself approved. You need to understand God's word before you can argue it.
I feel that, bro. That shouldn't send chills down my spine, bro. Honestly, man, because all I'm trying to do is question. All I'm trying to do is know what's right. All I'm trying to do is, I was raised Catholic, and this last few years in my life, 4 or 5 years, I definitely consider myself a Christian now, and so, my whole thing is just, hey man, I want to be in his army. I want to fight for him. Period. Point blank. That's where I'm at with it.
I feel that. I think that's great, and I want. If I were you, I would really just start trying to study God's word. And so, when I am going to tell you unequivocally that Christians are all objective moralists, meaning, so morality is a question of what is right and what is wrong. And objective morality is not a term you want to like say, well, objective means this to me and morality means that to me. So I've got my own definition of objective morality. Objective morality is not the definition that you were describing or making up. It has a definition of its own. And what that means is that God has established what is right and what is wrong, and that we use his definition for what is right and what is wrong, not our own thinking. The Bible tells us not to lean on our own understanding, meaning that in the place of what God has defined, don't come up with your own ideas and say, you know what, I like my idea better than what God has explained, so I'm going to use my idea and I don't worry about what God has explained. And then the last point I would make to you, Brother Adam, you have brought up the different translations of the Bible as if those different translations are different types of, or different Bibles. Okay. So the King James Version of the Bible, okay, is a 97% match to the oldest codexes of the Bible. So there's the Septuagint, which is an ancient Greek manuscript, a compilation of the New Testament. Okay. You've got the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls have books from both the New Testament and the Old Testament. They're the oldest copies, some of the oldest copies that we have of both the New Testament and the Old Testament. And then there are obviously the traditional books of the Tanakh, which are the prophets and the law and the Torah. Okay. And those books are ancient Jewish history. There is an unbroken chain of carrying those books forward. So the veracity of what is in the Old Testament is never under question for whether or not it has been changed, because we can see ancient documents that show that information has stayed the same. So the biblical text is the same as it was 2,000 years ago. Okay. So the idea that the translations have changed the doctrine is a false idea that's spread by anti-Christians to undermine the reliability of the Bible.
Yeah,
Have
if
you
you
ever
want to
read the Aramaic translation?
if you ever want to
You
disagree
said
with
Jim
the
Jones will
translations, you can
interrupt
pull
you
up the.
soon.
Okay, I'll
It's
let you
crazy.
talk.
Bro.
My bad.
No, it's good. Go ahead.
No, I
Yeah.
was just gonna say, like, I totally agree with what the wisdom. I can't say your full name. I'm sorry, but I totally agree with what you just said, because anytime if any part of the Bible, the Bible is written in many, either it's in Hebrew, Aramaic, or Greek. You can always look at the original Greek text or Hebrew text and look up what each individual word means. So you never have any doubt to whether, it's been translated, whatever. Yes, it's been the Bible has been translated into many different languages, so it can be accessible for people all over the world. But that doesn't mean it's been translated multiple times before it gets to English. You can translate directly from Hebrew to English. You know what I mean? Because there are Hebrew scholars and Greek scholars who know what the text means, who know English and can translate it one to one. It's not getting lost in translation.
Yeah, the doctrine of the Bible, Adam, is reliable. So the information, when they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, which pushed back pushed back the oldest text that we have for the Bible by almost over 1,000 years. When they found the Dead Sea Scrolls, they matched up the books, and it was a word for word translation. I mean, word for word. Not a single word had been changed, word for word. So this idea that the information in the Bible is not reliable, it's created by non-Christians to undermine the reliability of God's word.
No, but it's kind of true, right? Like it's been
No,
you
it's
know.
not true. I just explained to you why it is not true. So
Why
what
do
part
you
of
think
what
that's true? I'm just curious to hear
yeah.
your side.
I feel like the most reliable and widespread translation is in Greek when Jesus spoke Aramaic.
Yes, and people who have studied Aramaic can translate that into English. You know what I mean? And there's multiple different English translations, right? There's word for word translations and there's thought for thought translations. So it's like if you read like NLT translation, that's going to be a thought for thought translation where people are trying to like summarize the sentences and translate them. But if you read something like NASB, New American Standard Bible, that's a word for word translation where each word is taken individually so that it's not people inputting their own biases on. Because I don't speak Aramaic. I'm never gonna, be able to get that without
Right,
studying
but that's what I'm saying. The English translation of the Bible is based on the Greek translation of the Bible, not the Aramaic translation.
No. Okay, so the Greek was the English of the time that Christ was there. So here's what you have to understand. So when you come to America, there isn't one language, right? There's the primary language is English, but there are many cultures here because America is a place that attracts people of multiple cultures. So if somebody comes
But this
here
was
from,
2,000 years ago. We were established in 1776.
let me
He's
That's what I'm
making an
saying.
explain that.
analogy.
Yeah, let me explain the idea to you, and it'll help to deepen your understanding of why what you're saying doesn't. Other people reject it outright.
It's not even that I disagree with, you know what I'm saying? It's just
I'm just trying to complete
is
your
what it is.
understanding so you might
No,
have
I
more
get you.
insight about
I get
this.
you. I'm here for
Yeah.
it.
Again with
All
that.
right. Yeah. So if somebody came here from
No, I'm
Nigeria,
saying wisdom. Like you are kind of having a condescending tone, but
I don't need your help with my tone at all. So no, thank you. Okay. Go ahead and mute up, sis.
you see what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
it's
that was
Yes,
just
kind of
not
correct. I
rude.
reject
nice.
your correction. I
That's
reject your
not
advice
how
about my
God.
tone. I didn't ask for
No,
any
see
help with
that
any
we're
of that.
supposed to show
Lens
kindness.
is dope though. She's the
No,
only reason I joined, really.
Yeah,
To be
Lines
honest,
is
keep it
I
really
real with
understand,
you.
sweet.
but I don't.
You
I'm
guys
not
are
trying
good
to.
too. You guys are nice.
Okay, thank you for your advice, but I don't want any correction on my tone. So no, thank you, Lanes.
That
Alrighty,
was a nicer way of putting it.
yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to do with that? Anyways, the point I'm making to you, Adam, is that if Jesus didn't just speak Aramaic, okay, Jesus was in a place where the common language was English. In Capernaum, the common, or not English, was Greek. The common language of the people of Capernaum, where he was stationed at, and was the epicenter of where his teaching spread out from, was Greek. So the fact that it was written in
After
Greek,
he died, though,
yeah, the writings
not
that
while he was alive. While he was alive, it was Aramaic.
okay, so Jesus didn't just speak Aramaic. Okay, he spoke Egyptian as
Of course
well.
not. He was God, dude. He spoke all languages. But I'm just saying, as far as the Bible's interpretation, that's
Yeah, I don't have the patience tonight. I understand what you're saying, but I'm explaining something to you that historians agree on, and you're kind of using your own understanding
it.
to the
Don't.
conclusion
Hey,
that you
man,
don't
I'm not
really.
trying to disagree with you to be a dick.
Do you
I'm just
have any
I know
saying.
you're
kids,
not. You
Wisdom? Do
just.
you have any kids?
I'm not trying to. The point that I'm saying is that there are people who have already answered the questions that you have about these things, Adam. Okay, scholars that have gone into depth to get answers that are reliable to these types of questions, and I'm trying to
Mhm.
share those answers with you. And the basis of your disagreement are things you've kind of come up with on your own. But have you taken the time to try to figure out how people who study this stuff for a living have resolved the answers to the types of questions you have, brother?
That's like saying the people of the government are really watching out for you, though.
Will you answer the question I
Like,
just asked you?
like scholars, bro. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
They
people
went
who.
to they went to school and they were taught a false. I mean, a lot of
Okay,
them
so
were
you
taught
think
like a
that?
false.
Go
Do you
ahead.
Go
know?
ahead.
Do you? Mm. Listen. Okay. A historian doesn't mean they just like went to school and studied history, right? If you get like your PhD or something, you have to produce your own research. These are people who've dedicated their lives' work into studying history and how we should look at history in an accurate and reliable way. They're not just saying this because like,
I
oh
know, babe,
well,
but at the same time, there's such thing as constitutional law, and there's such thing as law. I mean, what would you rather follow?
what is law?
Yeah, I want to figure out what law is.
Law is
Yeah.
it can be manipulated.
No, this is a term you just made up. There's no law. And that's what I'm kind of saying, Adam, is that a part of your understanding is just based on what you've come up with on your own. And that's why it's incomplete. And so when you talk about
Do you need a
constitutional
license?
law,
Hey, do you need a driver's license to travel legally?
I'm let me ask you a
Do
question.
you?
Have you consumed any
Do you?
substances tonight?
Do you? Do you need a driver's license to travel legally, man?
Yes.
Constitutionally?
No.
Constitutionally, no. But
No, you don't.
it's yes. Okay. So
That's what
no,
I
you don't.
mean.
All right. So I
That's what I'm
understand what
talking
you mean, but
about.
the reason you don't know the terms for these things and you
It
just
doesn't
created
matter
one
if I
on the
know the
spot.
terms. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
You don't?
What we're talking about.
No, okay.
Well, I'm not
See,
going to try
this
to
goes
force
back to
understanding on you.
subjective and
Yeah,
objective.
I got it. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, hey, Alex, how you doing, sis?
I'm good. I appreciate what you're trying to say. I just don't think he's
Yeah, I think he's has some substances tonight, and I'm beating my head against the wall.
yeah, I don't know. I think he's just not picking up what we're putting down.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's
I
all
guess
good.
I'm just not that smart, bro.
It's not
Yeah,
that
you
you're
got
not
to
smart. No, I
you
think
got to read this stuff. You got to look for these
it's
answers on your
not
own
that at
instead
all.
of
I
just
Shit
think
is crazy.
generating them based on
Y'all
your
are,
own
hey
thinking.
man, it's a valiant effort. Y'all
no,
are putting
listen,
down a
I
valiant
don't think it's
effort.
because you're not
Straight
smart
up.
at all. I think you're very smart. I think that's the reason why you feel the need that you don't have to do research in order to find the answers. The reason why wisdom knows all this stuff,
Google is
it's not
manipulative, man.
Google. Go to the library, bro. Like
That
you don't
shit's
have to.
manipulative too. What are
So
you
what do
talking
you?
about? All the books that were ever put in besides the Bible, in my opinion,
Okay, well,
were put here to
read books that
you know
you
what I'm
don't have to
saying?
read books and just
To fuck
believe
with.
everything, right? There are books from historical evidence that explain the historians' methodology and how they went about conducting historical research. You can read research papers. The library, if you got one in a town, if you give them your address, you can sign up for a library card for free or for like $5 or something.
No, the
All
books
this
are no good.
information.
Nope, Alex, the books are no good. But books are all manipulations because they were written by people in universities, and those universities all want to lie to us and confuse us because they're all from the government, And so there is no real information. There's only what we can come up with on our own. And we should start by learning the law. So I'm straight. I'm
All
straight.
right.
Yeah.
I think you just summed up
Yeah.
pretty much what he's
Yeah.
saying.
That's what this gentleman has asserted so far is that no information that you read anywhere is reliable because all of it can be manipulated. So the assumption he operates from is that it all has been manipulated. So you can
Mm-hmm.
trust nothing. So it's no point in learning any of it at all. You can just
Right.
make up your own terms like law.
Right.
So
Right.
that is if I can't engage with a person whose frame of reference is built upon a foundation like that about
Word.
anything scholastic, but I can talk to this brother about the price of tea in China, but I can't,
Man, bro.
you know.
It's good, man.
Yeah, we
I'm
can talk
listening. I'm
about
here
anything
for it,
else.
man.
Yeah,
Shit.
let's go to the topics. Let's go to the topics. I think that we kind of fell off the map thinking that we were going to be able to impart that type of thinking to you, and that's just not something you with, and that's cool. That's your choice.
Man, I must be like below a 3.0 GPA or something. I don't know.
Bro, we're not telling you you're
I don't
stupid.
don't buy
Let's
into
go.
it. Yeah, don't buy into any of that stuff. I
Let's
just that
go.
sounds
Buy
stupid.
into what, man?
You talking about your own intellect because you're not keeping up with the
That's what
conversation.
hey, you are the godfather of wisdom right now.
That
Your
sounds
name
fine.
says so.
Whatever you think is fine. Let's go to the first.
Word.
Let's
Let's
go
go.
to sure. Let's go to the actual talking points of the panel.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So anybody that wants to go on that, let's go ahead and do that instead.
Okay. Can we take a quick break and tap the screen? Gift the host for having this extraordinary conversation tonight. He put a lot of work into it, so I think we can put a little work in with our fingers. Let's try to get them up to about 20K, 25K. And
Yes,
uh,
sir.
and who did not answer the first two prompts?
Haven't.
So it looked like it wasn't Alex so far. I think Adam did it already. Yeah.
Honestly,
Alex,
I
what's up?
was free balling. What's the first two prompts? Righteousness on the side.
What'd you say, Wisdom? I thought he said something too. Did you go, Wisdom? No, I don't think he did it too. He
Can you
just
hear me?
talked.
I didn't.
Can y'all still hear me?
I didn't go, but I'll go last.
I
We'll
hear
let
you,
him
but
finish.
I hear you. I know. Do you hear me, right?
Go
Yes,
ahead,
sir.
Wiz.
Yeah.
Who's
No.
going first?
I'm gonna. Adam. I'll
I
go
didn't because
last.
I didn't answer the first two prompts.
Yeah.
Okay, we
I
got
know
you.
we gonna do it like this.
You in the queue. All right. I'm just trying to see all who didn't
Yeah.
go. You're not the only one that didn't go.
Yeah. I'll go last, and he can
Okay.
finish free balling.
Okay. So it's gonna be Adam, Alex, Kush, and then Wisdom. Let's go.
Righteousness on the side.
Give everybody 2
Yeah.
minutes real quick. I'll be right back, cuz.
Can y'all hear me?
All right, I got you. Yeah, it's on
What are
you.
we doing? Pandering to one side has no integrity. Like, what are we doing? What is the first two prompts? Where am I going with this?
Okay,
Why do
yeah.
I gotta go first?
Okay. So,
Hey, hold on.
the
Nobody
first
heard
two
me.
prompts.
Now I gotta go first. No, Wiz, you go first, man. You got this shit. It's on you.
All right, you don't want to go. We're gonna go.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's on you, Alex.
oh, okay. I mean, to be honest, the reason why I joined the live is because the conversation they were having about the Bible interested me, but I don't really see anything on here that I like disagree, like pandering to one side. I mean, pandering suggests that someone's being disingenuous in order to like appease somebody. It's not coming from a genuine place. So yeah, I'd probably say that doesn't have integrity. I think you should always be genuine in all that you do. You know, don't try to be fake just to try to get someone to agree with you. So yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Two people can be right. I don't know. Sure. It's just it's so broad. It's not very specific. So I don't really know if in a given situation. Yeah, there's, I could see two sides to a given story. I'm not saying that applies to everything, but I don't know. It's a very broad range of things. You know what I mean?
Okay, I got you.
Let Adam go next. He can't decide what order he goes in. Adam, it's your turn. Go. Adam, it's your turn. Go.
Where did he go?
I had to.
I know he's
My
not
bad, you
reading.
guys. I had to
Go.
unmute. I don't know who muted
Yeah,
me.
go. Yeah, go ahead. Do the green prompt and then the one underneath it. Go ahead.
So righteousness is decided to be on man or woman. I don't really, I'm not like. How do y'all feel about politically? Like, where does everybody stand politically on this?
How about you answer the prompts that we
What does that
have?
have to do with? Okay.
No, Alex, don't do that.
Oh,
Well, cause no, I'm curious. Like, I wanted to
I,
know, like, cause I don't want to be the one that's like, oh,
you won't be the one. Kush, go ahead.
Righteous is decided to be on man or woman. I agree. Pandering to one side has no integrity. I agree with what Alex said on that. Two people can be right. I agree with that. And then when it comes to politics, I think that's why it's important for people to just hear each other out. You know what I'm saying? And don't judge the person, just debate the knowledge, or whatever. So natural versus fence
Okay.
rider.
All right.
Fine.
So my fault to cut you off, but we just gonna do the first two. That was perfect. We're gonna go to wisdom and then this AB3I guy.
Yeah, so righteousness, to be righteous is to be right. So obviously, it's more important to be on the side of what is right and not who is right. So what is right is more important than who is right. And a lot of people are focused on the who and not the what. And I think that they'll agree with men because it's a man saying it. They'll agree with women because it's a woman saying it. They agree with black because it's a person of color saying it. They agree. And you need to be trying to figure out what is right and stand aside there. And then the second one is pandering to one side has no integrity. Absolutely not. Integrity is, about righteousness as well, right? I'm prior service military. In the military, they say that integrity is doing right even when nobody else is looking. When you can't be held accountable for it to anybody but God, and you're still doing the right thing. And so if in the space of your mind you know something is wrong, but you're going to support somebody because you don't care what is right or wrong, you just care about supporting them, then that is a low integrity position or no integrity position.
Okay, that was great. Hey, cuz, you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool.
We could try to hurry and run through it because I actually got another whole. That's why I'm still up. I got that other prompt I want to do because I'm gonna take off tomorrow. But might live hop. But I want to do that other one that I know that's gonna spike some stuff for real. I'm gonna do one more refresh and we gonna talk about that tattoo thing. That was a good live I wanted to do. I know this junk gonna go crazy. Hopefully, you don't get no drunk people here. All right, so the next two, um, neutral versus fence riding. Explain, and then we're gonna do people who force you to pick sides is the issue today. So let's get head nerd in charge. Let's get him, and then cuz let me know if you want whenever you want.
All right.
H and I see you there. Did he fall asleep?
I'm still here.
Oh, there you go. All right. Do the next two, neutral versus fence rider, and then people who force you to pick a side.
In Dante's Inferno, you talk about how Shit, what was it? He said the hottest place in hell is for those who choose neutrality in a time of crisis. I mean, as long as it's not a time of crisis, you can be neutral at something. A fence rider is more like a person who just wants to fulfill whatever thing personally they want. If they just be a fence rider and not really have like um, the confidence of saying, hey, I'm going to choose a side or not. Not that the idea that there's a truth or something else like that. It's like a gray area, but yeah, that'd be a fence rider. But like neutral. There's times you can choose a neutrality, but yet, as I said, if there's something that's it should be something that you choose. It's something that's where you get the story of like Shaitan or the devil and the angels that didn't choose. And that's what I always tell my kids, that hoping everything's okay with that person. And
I had to laugh too.
yeah, I was like,
That was
I
weird.
couldn't even ignore it. That's funny.
oh man.
Remind me of that Eminem song, "Go Stupid." Ah.
Was that Jeremiah song?
You know sometimes you gotta laugh at the trolls. I might clip that one. That's funny.
I'll stop right there, man.
All right, cuz you wanna go? You're just trying to run through this progress. I'm gonna do one more refresh, and this one that's gonna be the final refresh, because this one, I know y'all gonna like this next one. It's gonna get some people mad. I'm talking about tattoos. Cuz you. Let's see something.
Yeah, I'm here. I'll go last.
All right. Dang, this thing still ain't downloaded. The heck? All right, Alex, what you got for me?
So, I can kind of see what you said, but I mean, it's kind of just up to how you interpret the words neutral and fence rider. Because when I hear fence rider, I low key think of somebody who, jumps from side to side whenever it benefits them. You know what I mean? So that doesn't sound good to me. Like, this side's gonna do this for me. Oh, this side's gonna do this for me. I mean, again, it's super broad, so it's like I don't know if this is, what a specific circumstance. If I was given an example, I could give a more definitive answer. But neutral, I don't know. I mean, I don't really believe in moral relativism. I feel like there's always, right and wrong. I definitely think there are many circumstances where I could see both sides to a situation, because not everything is black and white, right? But I do believe, like, in terms of like morality, yes, there's always a right and wrong. And then, some situations, again, it's just like I would need a more specific circumstance to really like definitively choose a side, like an example. But just from what I hear, like, remaining neutral and just trying to hear out both sides sounds more, I don't know. It's just the verbiage of it sounds better than fence rider. Fence rider sounds like not good. It sounds like somebody who's a grifter. So I don't know. That's just what I hear the differences off the jump. That's what my first impression is.
Okay. What you got for me? I forgot to put y'all timers on. So Kush, what you got? We're doing a neutral, and then people who force you to pick a side.
Okay, well, I think the neutral person, especially like when it comes to politics or something, is is the person who isn't aware of a lot of different things going on either side. They're not aware of what's happening in the country, and the neutral person probably don't really care. They just out here hustling, just trying to work or trying to make some money and pay their bills, and they're not really paying attention to what's going on. And so they're neutral. They can't have an opinion because they don't really care either way, or haven't done the research either way, or had the time, So that's that. And the person who's on the fence, to me, it seems like someone who have part of information on both sides, and maybe they like something about each side but they also dislike things about both sides that make them not want to pick a side. It's the like the thing of people saying that the left wing, right wing, saying crooked as bird. So yeah, I think that person's on the fence is because, and also one more thing is that there's some president, I'm not going to be specific, but created created a situation where the news media can lie to the general public, and it's no longer that it used to be that they had to take an oath, but now they no longer have to take any oath to tell us the truth or to have any kind of integrity with what they expel or try and give to us. Now it's considered entertainment. So then there's a lot of good information, then there's a lot of bad information. It's all mixed together, and people don't know what the hell to believe. That's why they're on the fence. And they don't care enough either to do their research on either side. So they just like, or maybe they have done some research on both sides. And like I said, they like some about each side, they dislike some about each side, and they just don't want to be a part of the political game. Yeah.
No, right.
Yeah, and I can agree with you on that if we're talking. Sorry. If we're talking specifically about politics, yes. Because that's what I mean. Like, I need a specific example because I feel like my answer changes if we're talking about, like, politics, if we're talking about, like, I don't know, the trolley problem, like morality, if we're talking about an argument between friends, like if you're neutral or fence rider, like I feel like it changes depending on the circumstance. But if we're talking about politics, I totally agree with what you said, Kush.
Yeah, I think they two different things though. I don't think it mean the same thing on both of them, no matter what it is. But what you got for me?
On by a thread. Never mind. You holding on by a thread. I thought you was up. Man, you holding on by a thread. Never mind.
Oh nah, come on. I actually got another whole topic I want to do, so I'm up. All right, so
Shocking. All right, I'm for it. Let's get it.
yeah, I got to talk about that one with the tattoos again. That's the one that's gonna shake the room again. I got to talk about that one. So I'm trying to run through this one real quick so I can do one more last refresh. Come back strong. Warlock in the building. All right, so let me get wisdom in real quick. Neutral versus fence riding. What's the difference between those? What could be similar? We can say that. And then people who force you to pick a side today is the issue. How you feel about that?
Was that to me?
Hey, what
Wisdom.
over there?
Oh no, you said wisdom was first. Go ahead.
Did you want me to go, Kev, or you want me to
Yeah,
yield
it's
to
on
the
you. It's on
world?
you.
Okay. So two people can be right? I think that when you typically have two people who are right, it's a manifestation of them not understanding the point of what they're talking about. So if I am talking to you about something and you talk about your point is based on a different aspect of it, and my point is based on a different aspect of it, then we both can be right because both aspects pertain to the same subject. But if the question is asked properly, then truth isn't subjective. It's not up to interpretation. And a good answer is not the same thing as the right answer. So I don't actually believe that two things are right at the same time. I think that's something people say when they lack understanding about what it is that they're talking about or the questions haven't been asked appropriately. Neutral is fence riding. Explain. A neutral versus fence rider. I believe that neutral is a position that you choose. Okay. And fence riding is a technique or a tactic, right? So fence riding is somebody who will appease kind of both sides. Or they don't want to commit to either side. Neutral is pulling yourself out of it altogether. So a fence rider will reach on both sides of the fence to pluck things or place things. And someone who is neutral is in the center. They're not going to place or poke or anything on either side. They have removed themselves. They are Switzerland. When I think of neutrality, I think of like Switzerland.
You got one more because I guess you didn't do the other one then. So you got one more. People who force you to. I gotta add you another minute then.
People who forced you to pick a side is an issue today. No, it is not.
Mm.
No, no, it is not. I think that I think that I think it is problematic for people who don't want to do whatever work is necessary to make sure that the side that they pick is actually in alignment with what their principles, morals, values, or position is. I think often, and I discover this commonly in conversation with people. I'll ask them questions and find out that different idea sets that they have are not morally consistent because they've developed positions that they haven't reassessed or re-criticized since they've had them, and since they've gone through life more, their understanding and critical thinking has increased, but they haven't gone back to re-review that idea to see if it's still a good tool or a reflection of where they are morally. So I think that when people force you per se to pick a side, how do they force you? They force you through questioning and investigating what it is that you think and why you think it. Can you tell me what your idea is? Can you defend why you think can you list why you think what you think? And then can you defend what you have listed? And I think that that just brings people to a greater level of understanding of their own thinking and gives them the ability to articulate their own thoughts, which is very important. I think it's important for people to develop intellectual formidability in addition to, financial prowess or physical strength. Intellectual formidability is just as important. And I believe that when you're kind of forced to drill your ideas down to their full articulation, you find that. So when people put you into situations where you have to make a choice, especially if you're given the time and resources to research your position, I think that's a good thing, not a bad one.
Okay. Scared. What Warlock? Oh no, F Your Feelings and then Warlock. Yeah, F Your Feelings, Warlock, then Pablo, and then we can get this last one out
What
the
I
way.
do?
So,
What I do? What we got on here? What's what I'm doing?
so you already. I think you was here earlier. You did the first two. Yeah, you did it before us to start the
I
live.
only
So
did the
do
first one. I ain't never even got
damn.
to the
Oh
other
my
two.
gosh.
Yeah, because
So
a
you could do
lot
the
of shit going on.
first four prompts then, because we did everything but the last one. So do the next one. I'll give you 4 minutes.
I'm probably gonna use about a minute of that. All right, pandering to one side has no integrity. Absolutely. Highly agree with that. Two people can be right. It's possible. You see it time in and time out. Two things can be right at the same time. So yeah, two people can be right at the same time. So I can agree with that. Neutral versus Finch Rodden. Um, I stay neutral. I don't ride defense of nobody. I don't give a damn who you is. I'm on the side of right is right, wrong is wrong, good is good, that is bad. There are people who force you to pick a side is the issue today. Yeah, if you're forced to pick a side, if you just choose a side because you want to, that's one thing. But for somebody to force you to do something, that's completely opposite. That's a problem today. You're forcing somebody to go outside of their comfort zone or whatever they feel is. And yeah, I use the word feel. Whatever they feel is supposed to be right. But yeah.
Nah, I see what
Yeah,
he
yeah,
did.
nah, no, nah, no,
I
nah, yeah, 1 minute.
I see. I knew exactly what you was doing. I was like, I see what he trying to do. I try to get him all out in 1 minute. I was trying to get him to mess up. Like, let him go 1 minute over. He ain't gonna try to do it all in 1 minute. All right. So Warlock and then Pablo. So y'all can do all of them but the last one. So let me give you 5 minutes.
All right, first and foremost, let me say this. There are like 3 or 4 people that I do not like to speak after on this app. 1 is Wisdom, 2 is Moses, 3 is Omega, and 4 is Classic. Not necessarily in that order. So don't do that crap to me no more. Secondly, I can't read that crap. You know it's too daggone late. My eyes half-ass closed. So read them all to me.
So righteous is decided to be on man or woman. How you feel about that?
Righteous, if in fact most people knew what the heck righteous was and lived by it, I would say yes. But most people don't. They just think they know what's right and they go with their feelings most times. That's number one. What's number two?
Pandering to one side has no integrity.
You said if you're pandering to one side or just
Have no,
pandering.
have no integrity.
You know what, Kev? I'm gonna talk to you like this. I hear that daggone. You know, there's certain terms that I don't care for too much, and that's one of them is pandering. One of them is simping and all of that crap. I really don't particularly care for that too much, man. Pandering to me is a problem. Period.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then two people can be right. Right.
Every time I hear that saying, the first movie I think of, Vantage Point. Right? That's the very first movie. Every time I hear that, two people can be right at the same time. How is that possible? There's a right. This is gonna go to the next one. There's a right and a wrong. The problem is nowadays, everybody wants to be right and nobody wants to be correct. You get what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be right. Nobody wants to be the bad guy. Nobody wants to be looked at as a bad guy. So that's where you come. That's where I mostly hear that term from. When you got two people, there's what we call damn near an obvious right and wrong. But somebody doesn't want to be wrong. The other one doesn't want to hurt the other person's feelings. So then they say, well, two things can be right at the same time. No, they can't. Anyway, what's next?
Neutral versus fence riding. Explain.
I am rarely neutral. Like I said, I do believe there's a right and a wrong to dang on everything. I'm rarely neutral. The other one was neutral or what's the other one?
Fence riding.
Fence riding.
Fence riding. I despise Switzerland with a passion because most people that ride that fence like that, to me it's almost like you're trying to appease every damn body, and you can't. Like I always say, Kev, when we was little, we knew that there was such a thing as right and wrong because we used to look over our shoulders when we was about to do something we knew we was wrong for doing because we knew our parents would be on our ass. Then somewhere between being a toddler and an infant and a child, evidently we must lose that all until we get to our mid to late 20s because we forget what right is wrong is and everything is subjective. And I just don't believe that many things are subjective. There are some, but not every daggone thing. Because everybody wants to add that and, if, and, or buts into things. As I always often say, Kev, when I ask a question, what do people do? Nope, we're not doing that shit. You're adding shit to the equation. That wasn't a part of the initial equation. That's where you get all the and, ifs, and buts from. That's it for that one. Was that
All
the
right,
last one?
and the last one. People who force you to pick a side is the issue today.
Force you to pick a side. Since when can somebody force you to do damn near anything? You choose to do it, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
Nobody can make me pick a side to do jack.
I guess their intent is that, we know you can't technically force nobody.
Everything boils down to choice, does it not?
Yeah.
Whoever's trying to come off mute, I'm done.
All right, so that's all right. Cool. Pablo, you got 5 minutes. You can do all of them, but the last one.
All right. Pandering to one side has no integrity. I think the word pandering is sort of like a logical fallacy. But whether pandering to something causes good, then if you're pandering towards somebody not to like unalive somebody, then I guess like it's a good thing. The word pandering is sort of like a logical like fallacy. I don't think you should ever do something immoral to convince somebody in any kind of way. But if it does any good, then yeah. Two people can be right. Yeah, two people can be right. There's so many different possibilities. Two people can mean the same thing, but use different words and somehow mean exactly the same thing, but say it completely different. You know what I mean? Like it happens. Neutral versus fence rider. I think neutrality is sort of like a place you take where when you sort of want to pause. I think people who are neutral are people who haven't completely made an opinion. And I guess it's really like with the whole Palestine thing, I'm sort of neutral, but not neutral. I'm neutral because like I haven't really done the research to do anything yet. And it's not really, it's just a lack of discipline that I haven't done the research yet. It's not that I like willingly, I'm neutral because I don't know enough, so I think it's okay to be neutral. I guess fence sitting, it's like willingly knowing both sides but sort of like being in the middle for some sort of like gain. I think, like, I don't know, the other guy said something about like how like fence sitting is some sort of strategy, so I do see it as that. People who force you to pick a side, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, if they're really passionate about something, I would sort of understand why they want to force you to choose a side. But at the same time, um, eh, yeah, you shouldn't need to pick a side. I feel like you should sort of like do it on your own time. I don't think you should sort of pick a side. And I feel like the whole like idea of sides isn't necessarily like consistent, because people have really different, like, I could be a conservative but like completely disagree with another conservative, so I don't think necessarily there's like such a thing as like perfect sides, like, um but yeah, that's what I think. I'm a little bit yeah, that's what I think.
All right, all right. I think, is that everybody? Okay, okay, okay. All right. So I guess I explain it, and then we can go to this last one because I'm ready to switch this prompt soon. All right. So righteous is decided to be on man. So the whole point of me saying it is that it don't matter if you're a man or a woman. If you're speaking on what's right, that's all that really matters. It's gonna kind of tie to what I meant about the neutral thing. Pandering to one side has no integrity. So the thing is, some people try to please their crowd or please people that they might look up to or whatever, and they act like that is integrity because they might, or they're afraid to challenge something outside of or their own people because they favor them or whatever. Um, Two people can be right. Yeah, I think a lot of the times some people don't want to acknowledge that this other person may be right before they say their talking point of what they're right about or something like that. So they make it seem like this other person is wrong because they're not saying it or speaking on what they want them to speak on, basically. Or they can be saying the same thing and just wording it differently, and they both were saying, literally saying the same exact thing, though. So a lot of the time, some people be looking at it, if you don't put it the same way, you are wrong. You know what I'm saying? And really, they just deliver it differently. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that is on that one. Neutral versus fence riding. Did Alex ever go? I feel like I skipped over her. Did you go to Alex?
No, I went.
Oh yeah, you and Kush did go. Okay, it's just so long that I forgot. All right, so with the neutral versus fence riding, uh, now that is, I look at neutral as being non-biased. That's the main thing. That's how I kind of view that one. Because a lot of people, what they do is like, okay, I mess with these people, I mess with that, so I'm not gonna hear the other side. Fence riding, I believe it is that it goes back to like the topic itself, is that people will even counter what they believe in just to, favor somebody or or even change, like I said, they just change their morals, whatever. Oh, it's right when I do it, it's wrong when they do it, and all this other stuff. It's like be hypocritical or whatever. So they just, whatever appease their flesh or appease, what their lifestyle, they willing to keep switching it up. Or I look at it like no different from pygmies, the actual pygmies and panders, the same thing or whatever. They really just, whoever is speaking on what they lifestyle is, they willing to, change it up, and even counter their own self just to change it up for popularity, for entertainment, for whatever it is. Some people would just literally do that. People who force you to pick a side is the issue. So what I'm getting to about that, even though we technically, you can't force nobody, so people do things. I believe it's like a manipulation tactic. So I I say that because wait, what was I talking about? One of those things. Okay, so to force you to pick a side, right? So I believe it's manipulation. Some people be like, "Hey, if you don't agree with me," just like especially us as black people, we do that junk a lot. You know, you either with me or against me type stuff or whatever. So they like, oh, damn, you are coon because you're not mentioning our traumas and all this other stuff. How you talking about success and all that stuff? You must be a sellout and all this other stuff. It's like, oh, what the heck? So you saying just because I don't speak like this or whatever, or I'm trying to bring motivation to this thing, or I'm trying to not keep on saying that we have to, act like every YT person is wrong and all that stuff. I'm on a different side. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's manipulation when people try to force you, um, and it ain't literal force, right? But people try to force you like they do with your, baby mamas and all the other stuff. They try to force you to, if you don't agree with me, then you're against me. So it's people that really like this on this, especially on this app. They literally like that. They like, well, if you say something against me, or if you try to call out my behaviors, or if you trying to, you, you are, you on the other side, and that don't be true. No, it's just sometimes you can understand what the other person might be saying, and you could be wrong today. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, they just because somebody call you out, and I think that's one of the biggest the reason why I did this topic. I don't want to, say call too much out, but it's just brought to reality of what this real issue is that a lot of people are just afraid to address people because they either fans of them, they mess with them. If you ever notice with me, I challenge every last single person. I don't care if I have a respect for you. I don't care if that you have a big old following. I really don't care about none of that. People are afraid, and that's what goes back to this pandering thing. People will pander to people when they know that if it was a person that they didn't know of that did the exact same thing, they'd be checking them. So I do the same thing with anybody, even if you were my mutual. If if I look up to you, it don't really matter. If you go against what I believe, then I'm going to challenge you. And I think that's the issue nowadays. Why they don't that that's the reason why they want you to pick a side. They feel like you're against me. And that's why I keep doing what I'm doing to see if these people mess with me or not. Because if you ever notice that in my group, or the people that mess with me, we all challenge each other. We don't agree on everything. And then it's cool because that's how life is. Shoot, when you get you a girl, or if you get you a relationship or whatever it is, right? You're not going to always agree on the same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just y'all got y'all different stuff. You can speak your piece, they can speak their piece, but that don't mean that y'all don't have this love for each other. That don't mean that y'all enemies. That don't mean none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the issue nowadays. People are so afraid to get challenged nowadays. They like, okay, you were op, you this, you must be that or something like that. Why did you allow this? And why did you all this other stuff? And it's like, well, everybody don't operate the same exact way. Just because I don't operate like you, that don't make me your enemy. You know what I'm saying? Just because you don't operate like me, that don't make you my enemy. And that's where neutral come in at. But if you come in with a bias off rip, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't have no neutral in your bone, and you saying that, okay, if you're saying this person is, if you saying my op is wrong, right, then you must be my op too. Like, no, they're right about what they're saying at that moment, but that don't make them, that's the thing. Some people just can't take it. Some people are like, no, you ain't supposed to say that. You supposed to demonize them and all this other stuff. And I believe people like that is the issue today, no matter how we want to look at it. So those are the people that force you to pick a side, and people that don't want to, that can't live like that, I call them zombies. They freaking zombies. They freaking panders. They all that because they don't have a mind of their own, because they like, well, I respect them and I
NPCs,
can't
Kev.
challenge them. You said what?
NPCs, Kev.
That's what it is, and everybody's so afraid, and that's why I say I feel like I gotta be a rare one on this app, because literally I don't see people do what I do. They afraid to speak up. They afraid to they scared. People are so scared. They afraid to lose a friend. I'm not, because if I stand on what I stand on, if I'm on the side of righteousness, I could care less what somebody else feel. If I feel like that, you saying that you somebody, okay, say we all saying, oh, we're all Christians and all this stuff, and then you speaking to unchristian, like, I'm gonna challenge that. Like, hold up, God told us to forgive. God told us to control ourselves. So what the heck? You know, you're going against it. So I'm going to challenge you because at one point, yes, I can agree with it. I can agree with you. But no, now you talking some other stuff and you going against us. Now it's time for you to get challenged now. But the thing is, people can't take challenges. Some people are so used to being right all the dang on time that if you challenge them because their whole confidence is based off of just being right, then that's when it go to that last one, which we about to get to. Then I ain't gonna speak on that one. I'm gonna wait till y'all get to that, and then I'm gonna speak on my part on that. So I already explained all the other stuff though. So we can do an open panel if y'all wanted to say something, and then we can get to this last one after the open panel.
I got a question for you. Go ahead, sweetheart. I'm too tired to fight this morning.
I was gonna let you have the flow, brother. I was
Go
gonna
ahead,
say
sweetheart.
I didn't get to answer the one about people who force you.
Your
Who
voice low, or is somebody? Everybody got a mute or something. I don't know what's going on. Her voice low.
My bad. I got bad eyes, so I pulled the phone away so I could see what the writing is. But I didn't answer the one that said people. The one that you was just talking about.
Okay, you can do that one. You can do that one. Then we do open panel after that.
Okay, so my thing with that is like, I get what you're talking about. I totally get it. I like the way everyone break down all of these points in different ways. And in that case, everyone is right. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anyone gave a real bad answer to any of these questions. But anyhow, when I think of that one, and I'm just always on politics anyway. But I'm not going to go too specific because this ain't a political debate. I'm not even, so. But anyway, yeah. For me, I feel that it wasn't a person or anyone who forced me to pick a side. It was the circumstances of the country, reason why I picked a certain side. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. And then when it comes to people pushing you into what you were saying, host, I think you're 100% correct. That makes other people bashful and kind of scared to put someone in their place because they don't even want the drama. You know what I'm saying? And then so even correcting other people's kids, people are hesitant to do that. Like literally we are creating these type of people who try and force their situation on you, like the one that you was explaining, host. Those type of people are creating an environment of which no one is going to try and tell anyone else anything to correct them. They're just going to watch you be wrong and just be like, oh, okay, that's fine. I was on a panel a week or so ago on like this alpha, the LGBTQ panel and stuff. And I don't have anything against them, so it's not going. But what I'm saying is that one person was like really depressed. He said, if things don't get fine or right in the world, and I'm going to unalive myself and this and that. And the host was just fine with it. Like, yeah, you have a right to feel that way. What? Like, come on. Like, she didn't even try to help the guy out of that type of mindset. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, so you're wrong, or you feel in a wrong way. Like, instead of trying to fix the issue, like she just validated it, and that's it. And it's okay to validate, I guess, to say, you have the right to feel that way, but also to encourage the person not to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But anyway, that's all I was thinking about on that. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question. When we start talking about forcing somebody to make a decision one way or another, I'm not one that's very good at it. I'm a blunt force trauma object, right? I'm talking to adults. So let me say it this way, and if you don't get it, you don't freaking get it. But however, somebody said that you're more likely to believe something that you discover on your own. And some people just have the gift of gab, or the gift of talking, to where as though you can ask questions to lead a person to, not necessarily lead, but ask questions for a person to realize whether their point of view is right or wrong. Here's my problem with that. My problem, maybe not nobody else. I have a problem when people try to get ahead of what I'm doing, or they think they know where I'm going with it. And then at that particular point in time, the conversation becomes one of bad faith. And when I get to that point, that's why I just say, you know what, the hell with y'all. I ain't got time for this. I'm not wasting my time. I've seen people on lives do this crap for 2-3 hours trying to get to a point, and somebody will not answer the question on this. I know where you're trying to lead. Well, if you know where I'm going, why don't just ride the train till I get to the end of the daggone station? I find that most times when people get to that point, when they start talking like that, they already realize that, hey, you know what? Maybe my point of view is fucked up. So I'm not even gonna allow them to get to the end of the train station. That's where most of my frustration comes from, kid. Truthfully. And I know you see it happen on many occasions.
Damn, I was in my head saying, sounds familiar,
Yep.
don't it, Kev?
Joe up.
I said, the point he just made sounds familiar, don't it, Kev? What he say, spend hours on something we could have been moved the fuck on? Couldn't even get past it? Somebody
Yeah.
still stuck on that one part?
Yep.
There's a point in time where you got to realize this person is not having this conversation in good faith, and just leave their asses there. Let them try to discover that. Let them think on it if they choose to later. I just don't have the patience nor the time to do that with people anymore. Like I said, I'm a blunt force trauma guy. I'm bam bam, smack you in the face, punch you in the throat, and hopefully you get it. Because if you don't, I'm not gonna spend much time on it. I'm done.
Okay. Okay.
I'm up in the
Okay.
sleep. What the hell going on here?
But yeah, like I said, I had to do this topic on this one though, for real though, because it's like, yeah, people too scared nowadays. I swear, they just is. You know, it's a lot of people that just, oh man, it's crazy though. That's why I do believe I differ from a lot of people. I literally see, and as I grew on this app, mentally, right, I realized the people that just still stuck, still doing the same topics, doing the same exact thing, supporting the same exact people. It's no different from real life, I believe. Like when you grow, like sometimes you end up growing apart from your friends. That's just how that is sometimes. And if you still around the same friends at all this time, and y'all still able to, because the only way that can work is if you and your friends grow with you. But a lot of times, if your circle ain't small. I don't know what that noise was. Detroit for you. If your circle is not small, you probably the same exact person and stuff. So that's the thing now, because I'm like, oh, what the heck? Because I used to be part of a lot of these groups on here. I might have been close to the red pill side for a little bit, and then I grew. I started doing some healing and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I can't mess with that. I'm not big on that. Now I keep talking about women this and men that and all this other stuff, and I'm like, bro, we literally not getting anywhere. And I hear a lot of trauma on both sides, the divester sides and the red pill side. I hear the same exact thing, and it's like everybody trying to use instead of healing, they rather just use it by using topics and get all this smarts and all this other stuff on how to bash the next gender. That's all that really is. Just because they don't want to do the healing within themselves and everybody else's fault. That's the reason why a lot of these people still stay single. A lot of these people still can't get what they want. A lot of, like, all that complaining is not about to help you get a new person. That's why you're supposed to change yourself so you can find you a new person. That's just how that is. But if you still doing all this thing on complaining and stuff, and you still not getting what you need, then you gotta at one point be like, okay, I'm the issue. You know what I'm saying? But ain't nobody gonna say that because that take humility.
Man, who
All of us
said that
build off so
is
much pride and stuff. You said what?
who really gonna accept the fact that they the issue?
They not gonna never do that. That's true. That is true though. But until that day, that's when they gonna start getting what they need in their life. But that's the issue. That's why people gonna keep on saying it's everybody else's fault but them. You know what I'm saying? Let's blame it's the daddy, it's the mama issues, it's the whatever. We gonna keep saying all that stuff, but is you finding what you need to find though? You know. But people gonna come to reality though. Like I said, they can keep on, you know, living off and building their confidence off of just being right and nobody challenging them. But then, like I said, is you getting to the goal that you want in your life? You know what I'm saying? So like I said, with me, oh dang, she got me good. With me, like I said, you gonna always notice about me, and people ain't gonna is not
Oh,
gonna like me, huh?
now look at the comments.
I know she got me. That's what I said. She got me. But people not gonna like me. Like I said, I'm going to challenge. I don't have nobody on this app is my lord. Ain't nobody on this app is my is the person. It's just not that. I don't like I said, I don't idolize nobody. I believe I'm just as powerful as a lot of these people that might have a big following. So I don't care about your numbers. Like I said, like I said, I'm gonna still challenge each and last person on this app. I could care who you are. I'm not afraid of
That
nobody for
challenge
real.
yet. I waiting
So,
for my challenge, sir.
uh,
I
uh,
was like, what
all right, wisdom, catch you later. But yeah, that's the thing though. So that's the reason why we gotta realize we gotta be able to stand up for what we believe in. We can't just keep on freaking uh idolizing everybody because they speak on what we like and all this other stuff, and we can't keep doing it because overall nobody's perfect. All of us are humans. Nobody is perfect. You know what I'm saying? That's the issue. No, some people will just feel uncomfortable when they get challenged. That's the thing. And people gonna learn that though. You're gonna lose a lot of friends once you start doing that. You're gonna lose a lot of people because everybody just want to be right. Everybody don't feel like. And then I'm gonna be real on this one though. And this one thing I learned, and I started to get into it with a lot of people about that. Just because a person hold a Bible, that don't mean they are the Bible. You know what I'm saying? You got to realize that too, because some people, it's so many people that get away with this that think that because, oh, I know all the word and all that stuff. Is they living the word though? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Y'all got to pay attention to that. And that's why people don't be wanting to convert and stuff because people are not living to what they say they preaching. They just not. They just like, oh, I can give you these verses. But then what do that mean? But then they get to keep on being just like the people that they speak against though. Like that just be
They're
crazy.
wicked. They use the word to be wicked.
Yeah, that's what they do for the most part. That's why I don't be liking stuff like that. But let me let y'all I forgot. Let me get y'all in. Actually, let me get boss, you just got up here. I'm gonna get you caught
Yeah.
up and then everybody gonna do this last one. Actually, you can do all the prompt. You can do all the prompt and then I'm gonna get everybody else so I'm gonna give you 6 minutes to answer all the green and then all the whole prompt because I'm gonna switch this prompt on.
All right. Um, pandering to one side has no integrity. That's true. I think that people should, if we learn how to be genuine and authentic to ourselves, that wouldn't even exist. Like, everybody is not in. We're not in the cookie cutter society where we all fit in one box. Everybody have their own thing that they're attracted to or is appealing to them, and people just need to learn how to be genuine and authentic. Two people can be right. Right? Yes, that's true. Um, I'm not going to elaborate too much on that. That's like general. Uh, neutral versus fence riders. That's again speaking back to people that don't got a mind of their own. Like they trying to please everybody, trying to appeal to everybody else's opinion just because they don't want to be disliked or whatever the case may be. I don't got time for that. People who force you to pick a side is the issue today. Sorry, y'all, I don't got my glasses on. That's true. Because it's to each his own. You do what's good for you. To attack the person, what that say underneath? It's something across there that I can't see the
What's
rest of it.
that? To attack to attack the person and not the talking point. What does that show?
Low comprehension skills. Um, just not paying attention, not comprehending well what the topic is about. That's what that is. But overall, righteous is decided to be a man. What you mean by the title of the topic? Righteous is decided to be on man or woman.
Yeah, so it's not gender based of what is right or wrong. So it don't matter. You know, because people be coming up with this gender war thing, or they believe that if you side uh with a man or with a woman, that makes them right or something like that. It's like it's not based off that. So righteousness can come out of anybody's mouth. You know, they can. I believe even divestors can speak on things that might be right and be wrong on many different things. Just like red pillars can speak on certain things that's right and can be wrong at the same time too. So it's about whoever speaking about what's right. You know, that's all that really matter for real.
That's true. People are so used to following behind society instead of going against the grain. So we get a lot of unauthentic points of view, and it's just a lot of times I'm the type of person that see through that type of stuff. So it makes me sick to my stomach that people don't know how to just be you. It's okay. It's okay. It's only one of you on this earth, and that's fine. And I don't know how to even fix that in this society. It's just it's shameful because it's causing a lot of problems in a lot of different aspects of life, like in relationships with, and that could be any type of relationship. It could be um in your marriage and a relationship between you and your mother, between um father and daughter relationship, father and son. It causes a lot of problems because people don't know how to be themselves. That's what it all boils down to. Don't know how to be genuine. Don't know what you really want opposed to what everybody else want. Don't be afraid to go against the grain. I've always been one to go against the grain. I don't give a shit what nobody else doing and what nobody else think. I'm gonna do my own thing, and think more people need to just be like that. That'll solve a lot of problems. I got a couple of minutes, a minute and some change left, but I don't got much more to say. But you're gonna change the prompt, right?
Now we gotta do the last one. I don't think
All right.
if Kev ain't fell asleep by this time. See, told y'all he was holding on by a thread. It's over.
Somebody snoring. The host.
It might be De Niro, his dog.
Nah.
Kev on mute. That's what I'm like. Yeah,
I'm back.
You
I
were
was on the phone.
snoring?
No, I was on the phone. All right. So everybody good? Okay. Cool. All right. So let's get Cuz in real quick. Do this last one because I'm gonna switch this whole prompt. I'm gonna do a reset and switch the whole prompt again to this other topic I really wanted to talk about. But Cuz, what you got by me? Got 1 minute.
To attack the person and not the talking point shows what does that show? That shows immaturity. That shows that you are incapable of being a reasonable person. It shows that you are not ready to actually deal with other people, because to talk about something and address the problem, that is the problem, not the person. And a lot of the times we confuse the problem with the problem being the person, when the problem is just the problem itself.
That's true.
Mm.
Cause in a relationship, it gotta be me and you against the problem, not.
Hold up real quick. We gonna do that at open panel so we can get everybody up out of here. All right. You was done, Cuz?
Yes, sir, I'm
All
done.
right. Let's get F your feelings. What you got?
okay, let's to attack the person. And oh, it shows it shows a low rate of intelligence. It shows that you don't have the capacity or capabilities to handle or even, conduce yourself in a conversation where we can actually get somewhere. It shows that you have no basic skills, no training. You're attacking the person instead of the point, because the point is what got you out in the first place. But I don't.
No communication skills.
Oh yeah, Kev, I'm sure something to the point.
Okay. Just do Kush then I end it with Warlock. Kush, what you got for me for the last one? You could fall asleep. Oh,
Sorry, I
that's who
was
fell asleep.
leaving somebody a DM. What was your question?
Nah, I ain't. I was about to. All right, you can go ahead. In the last one. Oh, to attack a person and not to talk a point. What does that show?
To attack a person that you really don't have nothing else to say. That's all you can do. And we find a lot of times when people say something that we don't agree with, we want to. That's one of the first things people go to is name calling and talking about the person instead of attacking their point. And that shit, it makes my ass crack itch when people do that. Yo, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I was gonna say something else, but it really does, man. I swear, I could have just got out the shower, my ass crack be itching like I got poison oak or something. When people do that, man, that means they really didn't have nothing to say. They just want to talk to talk. That's what it means to me.
Were you calling
Oh,
me?
there she go. There she go. Wow, she came back just in time because I was about to say I'm about to reset and get this next topic on. I'm trying to get on there real quick. All right, Kush, you go on and go ahead and end it out though. We on the last topic. What you got for me?
Oh yeah, this happens to me all the time in political debates. I think that's when they run, like you said, they run out of shit to say, that could really out of a substance. Like they run out of. It's like where political argument ends and they have no more. They have no more. Like that's all they could do is attack you. Like I think it's really funny. I always laugh when this happens. They tend to crash out, and then so yeah, I think I like it when it happens. It just yeah. But anyway,
Mm-hmm. I guess to throw my little 2 cents in there. So worth addressing. I don't know. She talking about down in the comments. All right. So to attack a person and so I would say yeah. A lot of the times this is a person that may have basically they just ran out of ammo of their talking points though, so they don't have nothing to basically prove their point. So they try to trigger the person because they got triggered because they was like, dang, this person really put me in a corner. So let me go for you, because they feel humiliated. So they're going to try to humiliate you. So that's what that is. So yeah, I think that's what that kind of shows. And people are limited. People are limited to what they know.
Value your opinion. Nice try though.
Let's see.
I'm a Trump supporter. Haha, what you gotta say, Kush?
And he got Trump on. She got Trump on her.
Yeah, Kev, it was an honor. And attention shoppers. We're taking a brief break. We'll be back in just a few seconds. Your tail gonna reset and change up. Make sure to follow so you can definitely come back later.
So, a person actually made a good talking point down in the comments. Amy, some points aren't worth addressing to be honest. If you feel like you are more significant than addressing a problem that you have, hey bro, mute up. I got you. It's cool. I got you. But that shows that you do not value that person. You do not respect that person. Because if a problem is a problem to them and you value and respect that person, then it should be a problem for you. Y'all should have a conversation. And that's the reason why a lot of situations, friendships, relationships, family members fall out, because being dismissive is not gonna do anything but enhance the problem. Whether you think it's worth your time or not, it should be if you value and respect that person, and if not, they shouldn't be in your life at all.
I could get with that. I agree.
All right, y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's get this party started. Now, this next one is gonna talking about could say ruffle some feathers. This about to ruffle some feathers. I'll be right back, y'all. Y'all come back, get the tabs going and shares. Give me 1 second.